beat.
the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. Rastafari. Kilibaba, kilibaba, kilibaba. Kilibaba, kilibaba, kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Ba-da-ba-di-ba-di-ba. Skiddy-biddy-biddy-da-ba-do.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of the spoon, spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, Tuto Spoon. Yeah, Tuto Spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, I do, but today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, I do, but today.
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Ba-da-ba-di-ba-di-ba.
Spoon.
Skiddy-biddy-biddy-da-ba-do.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Kua. Bese kua, go to there. Kua, go to there.
On the spoon.
Yes, I do.
Information.
Well,
On the spoon. To be
yes, I do. Batile.
Spoon. Spoon television.
Yes, I do. Batile.
Spoon radio station.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, standing with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland,
Okay. So good evening and a pleasant welcome to yet another edition of the Spoon Talk, your premier nighttime show that comes away at about this time every day. So wherever you are and whatever you are doing, keep your dial set. My name is Yekezi Zobel. I'm your sound coordinator here this evening. So let's now go over to the team there from the other side of the world to commence the show. James, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Honorable Yekezi Zobel. How do you do?
Why you give out honorable name good evening?
Good evening, my friend. How do you do?
I'm okay. How yourself?
We can't complain. The same way God money you that have God money me.
Okay. Your haircut ready showed, you know. It ready
What you want
exposed
to?
your head. it just confirms that I know somebody used to comment on your post and say, "Hey, who?"
Maybe you don't want to live long. Good evening, Honorable Tomalin. You are muted.
Hey, James, good day, and Yekezi Zwogbe. I'm right?
Yeah, sure, you're right.
How you guys doing at your end? I know on this side of where I am is in winter now, but it's not too cold today though. It was cold last week a lot, but this week so far it's not too cold. We're looking forward to ending the 2022 on a good note. What's up,
My end is okay.
Stanton Opa Arizona Witherspoon Senior, right? Junior or senior?
I take anyone, man.
Okay.
Call me junior, call me senior, call me middle,
Call you Opa, everything.
call me Opa.
Well, guys, how's everything, man? Let's hear from you. Yakezi, how's what's happening at your end? What's trending in that area?
Yeah, the trending news right now is the president's dedication of the Emirates Hospital there in Bopolu City, Bapolu County. The hospital was finally dedicated by the president. He went a whole entourage. And according to him, when during the dedicatory ceremony, the dedication is in fulfillment of the CDC pro-poor agenda. And as you may know, that project was funded by the United Arab Emirates. And the hospital covers more than 52 square feet. It is almost entirely powered by solar energy. It has 100 bed capacity for inpatients and several operating theaters, ICU, and various specialized departments.
That's the big news in town today, right? The dedication
sure.
of the United Emirates Hospital in Bapolu by the president and members of the UAE government. James, I know you monitor Liberia all over, so you're the man who can monitor all the four corners of Liberia. Tell what's happening at your end that you got from Liberia today.
Like Ekezi said, the trending event today in Liberia is the hospital where nearly all the media houses were present. And besides that, the politicians doing what they can do, getting prepared for the political transfer. As you may be aware, the transfer will officially open January 1st to December 2023 or to October 9, 2023. So we're just getting some rumors around a few players that are making move, agents that are making move to political parties and so forth. Yeah, that's all.
CEO, you got anything from your end? I know your phone line's always open, and you got the news from all over the place. Come pouring into your office there. So what's up?
No, man, listen, Tumani, I'm good. Thank you very much for, moderating today. We'll follow your lead, but we got to be careful with you because sometimes you know how to do the Huawei. We'll be on this end and you'll be spinning. But we want to say this. Let's have a wonderful show, man. The hospital, what is happening in the political world, like NPP stay complaining. I think they got to work on their party, that NPP party. We're receiving letters that was written to Musa Dean. Let's talk about the issue about Liberia as well. Somebody sent me something about the president achievement. And today also we can add that former Vice President Joseph Boakai met with the Chinese ambassador. And he said they had a fruitful discussion. We should also discuss that. And we should also say that this is happening right now, which is also important. CPP to prop Martin Collins orders over missing US 70,000. This is in the news. The CPP on a Mr. Cummings, they are investigating Martin Collard about that 70,000, that missing 70,000. And it's a lot of stuff behind the 70,000. We'll read what is on the newspaper. We will investigate further. But I don't think, and I think it is in the right direction, that CPP should take action and discuss this further. So that's from my end, man.
Well, a lot of things to discuss today, huh? Well, let me first of all just today, in starting the program, congratulate the president of Liberia, Dr. George Manawia, for the dedication of the Bobolu, for the Emirates Hospital in Babolu County, Bobolu. That's a big deal for him, his administration. The second hospital he's dedicating, the first one, according to him, he said is 3. He said River says the Mandia Hospital in River says, the 14th Military Hospital in Magibi, and now the Emirates Hospital in Bapolu. I want to commend the city, the WIA-led government for this dedication and for this project. Also thank the UAE government for providing the funds for this project. But just to start, the president in his remarks today, I can tell you the president is in his campaign mood now, because the president, from going forward, the president will be, every program he attends, he's gonna be in a campaign mood. From where, like he said today, he mentioned about he made a decision to play soccer in the UAE instead of playing for top clubs in Europe, and he happy that decision he made was that this work cause led to this project today. And he said, I'm glad that what I did at the time, and I also glad to see that the act of friendship today yielding dividends for my country. The president is in political mood, trying to tell the Liberian people, say, look, I should play for top European clubs, but I decided to play in UAE. And through that decision I made, established a friendship with this man, the president of the UAE at the time, and today led to such a goodwill gesture for my country. But I just wanted to make clear, the president is in his campaign mood, and going forward for the next 9 months, you're going to see everything the president will be saying, will be talking about his achievements of his government and all his initiative he's undertaken. But we're in politics. The election is next year, and we're going to see more. But just to start off, I know we'll be talking later on in the week. We'll be giving grades to the president, the vice president, the speaker, the deputy speaker, members of the legislature, the cabinet, and autonomous bureaus and agencies of government. We're trying to find who will be the minister of the year. Maybe our viewers can help us. They can also vote on who thinks should be minister of the year, or senator of the year, or representative of the year, or so, and also help with the grades and see what happens. Just be honest and be objective. Take away the partisan hat from there, and try to be honest and reasonable and objective in grading those who serve our country. If you find that no one deserves to be recognized, you say it, But we'll look forward to you guys bringing us suggestions too, bring us some ideas, and to find out who made it past for this 2022 year. But I will start off. Stanton, what are your thoughts about the hospital today, the dedication and so forth? What are your thoughts about this hospital today? I was dedicated by the president.
I think, so to my Josh, I think it's a beautiful thing. Listen, congrats to the George Weah administration. Job well done. We want to see more of these things. It is important that we speak on it. Beautiful hospital, by the way. State-of-the-art hospital. I'm concerned about the maintenance. I hope the government and the people of Bapolu can maintain our hospital to serve the surrounding counties and the people thereof. Say what you want to say, like I said yesterday. It is important that the hospital going to serve a lot of people, not only in this generation, but generation to come. The hospital is not a CDC hospital. The hospital is not an opposition hospital. The hospital belongs to the Liberian people. I got one of my friend, Paul Kennedy. I hope he can show face tonight. He's from Buffalo. He's running. Uh, he knows our terrain very well. He knows the importance of having a hospital in his county. He ran before and he came third. The election that Botokana won. And he's running again. I think he's running against Amara Kone, Senator Nathan, and the rest of them. It speaks volume at this time as we enter election year. That hospital at this time is very important. It has a political spin to it, St. Thomas and George, but it's very, very important. And Liberians should understand. Remove the politics and let the people benefit from the hospital. Seeing the president and his entourage, I saw Senator Snow and the rest of them, they were set up. Senator Snow will be there now. They were all happy. I saw the nurses, the doctors, the nurses in the uniform. It was a beautiful program. It was. But the message remained. The people will benefit. Individual from that community, from that district, from that county, from that surrounding counties will benefit. You don't need to travel to JFK anymore. And we hope the government can do more. And on this one, I want to say I'm impressed. It's a good thing.
So I agree with you. The hospital is well equipped, a modern hospital, state of the art hospital that will be serving the counties of Cape Mount, I think, Lower Lofa, Bombing, and in that area. So I'm sure that they will benefit from it, and it makes the race for Babalu, it makes it tough because I don't know. I'm hearing that the CDC will be supporting one of the candidates in the race. I don't know what CDC whether they will fee a candidate in Babalu, but I know Senator Nathan, who's the ANC chairman, is running. I know former finance minister Amara Kona is running for that seat. I don't know who the Unity Party will put forward. I know I don't know whether CDC will fee a candidate in that race, but that'll be a tough contest. But again, I don't think it's a vote rich era. But James, what are your thoughts about the hospital today? The hospital opening today.
The hospital, like every Liberian would think about it. It is okay, and I'm happy. I listened to some of the beneficiaries, specifically who are in Bopolo, how they were excited about it or how they are excited about it. And it's also a life-saving development for the people within our region, specifically Bombing, Grand Cape Mount, Lofa, Bapolu, part of Sierra Leone. They're all going to benefit from our hospital. And I think the government should continue in that direction. Maybe if they are opportune to come back or the next government to come should begin from where this administration will stop to at least have a few counties, if not all, have referral hospital in most of the counties. That will reduce the burden on JFK and the Justin F. Kennedy Hospital.
Well, what you guys thoughts about the hospital? Since we have that hospital as a referral hospital, and we also have the JFK, we have the Jackson F. Doe Redemption Hospital is also being renovated. Do you guys expect to see an increase in the budget for the health sector, especially for these hospitals? You think the government will increase the budget, put more money in the budget to also make attractive incentives for doctors and nurses to go to these rural areas to serve? What are your thoughts about the budget? Because the budgets, I heard today, we have a budget year now. It changed. It starts from January 1st to December 31st. So the budgets there's a draft budget already out. I'm trying to get a copy of it. But I don't know what's there for health so far. We got to check on it. But what are your thoughts about the budget concerning the health sector?
But before we go to the budget, let us just understand the population. You raised a good question, Sintoman and George. Election wise, would this help CDC? Let's understand the population of the folks in Buffalo as of 2008 was 83,758. The estimated population. You know, that county was taken away, branched off from Lofa, correct?
Yeah.
And it came around 2001 and came into being 2013. But say what you want to say, the population standpoint right now is 83,000. That's a big chunk of vote. It have increased. We'll wait for the census result. But as of 2008, 83,000. That's a big chunk of vote.
For Babalu.
For Babalu. So, you know, if you say they are the 11 most popular county in Lofa, you understand then that, I mean, in the country, most popular county in the country, Liberia, you understand the reason why the government see a need to build a hospital there.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe the Lofa votes, Lofa County, because I know
Lofa County is right there.
I know that this government been investing a lot of resources in Lofa, and perhaps because the last election, the only county the former vice president won was Lofa, and they've really been investing into Lofa County, perhaps to make it competitive. I don't know, but it depends on the election that will be held, and the tickets that, as I said, the tickets that will be named by the opposition, whoever going to run, and I'm sure it'll be competitive though, because it all depends on the message that will be given to the people.
But you asked another question, and you get Senator Nathan, you have Amara Corner. You say, who will CDC support? We are hearing that CDC going to support Amara Corner, the former finance minister. You know, CDC, they usually will not show face. But imagine Paul Kennedy came third, correct?
Yeah.
Paul Kennedy came third. And if CDC going to support Amara Corner in the race against CPP in the 10, I mean, the chances of Amara Corner winning is folks telling me that's a possibility Amara Corner can win. But don't underestimate the 10 and Paul Kennedy.
But listen now, don't forget though, former Minister McGill, he was the architect behind the location of this hospital. Now, McGill is president, he getting fired from Magibians, some people trying to fire him Magibi, for him not to run in Magibi. And McGill he also invested in Babolu. So except where is a deep will be broken between the CDC and former Minister Connor. But if McGill intends to run in Bapolu, that'll be a tough fight. That'll be a tough fight. If he's not if he doesn't succeed in running in Magibi and he's able to go to Bapolu, will be a tough race to watch, because he was strategic in selecting that hospital to be built in Bapolu.
Yeah, but McGill will not run in Bapolu. McGill will run in Magibi. If his decision to run is final, he will run in Magibi. McGill cannot run against Amarakone. If McGill say he's running in Bapolu, Amarakone will have to step back. Snow said, now I will say this to you, Edwin Snow. Snow cannot endorse Amarakone in Bapolu when McGill is in the race. Snow said it on our show. Snow will have to support McGill. The president cannot support Amarakone in Bapolu when McGill is in the race. So therefore, McGill has to settle for Magibi, for Amarakone to be free. So McGill cannot run in Bapolu. That's it. Now you're going to find the Snow supporting him. The president of most of the sedition will support Amarakone, because Amarakone will be voting in their interest. And you know that. But McGill in Bapolu is off.
I'm hearing that McGill endorsed Amara already, and I also hearing that the Senator Jala endorsed Amara, and as well as the youth and the chiefs and the youth of that area already endorsed Amara. So maybe you're right. McGill won't be contesting in Bapolu, and the race will be down maybe between a three-person race so far. Paul Kennedy, I know he's running independent.
Paul Kennedy, he's running, but he's not too sure. And I can say that he's going to come and talk to the folks. But do not underestimate Paul Kennedy now. Do not underestimate Paul Kennedy, because it's important for us to understand that Paul Kennedy can be a supporter in this race. You can have all sedition supporting Amara Cornet. Amara would need Paul Kennedy. Paul Kennedy gave Boto Kennedy a hard time.
Yeah, but I'm hearing that Paul is being supported by Samuel Twe. And let me tell you now, our original CDC group, Paul was part of that group too. When Twe was heading the CDC USA. But CDC, they owe Amara in a sense that it was agreed during 2017 that Amara would have been supported to succeed President Weah if he becomes president in Monserrato. But then when the election ended, I think things didn't work out.
No, but let me give you the secret. Amara got the blessing from the president.
But then
Amara Cornet went to Liberia. He met President George Manuel Weah. They have settled the differences. Indeed, they have. City manager, understand this will benefit CDC.
Oh yeah.
This Amara Cornet will benefit CDC. But now let me tell you about Paul Kennedy. Paul Kennedy cannot shoot himself in the foot. He working for the government. You remember Paul Kennedy and Enfield? I see those rascals in the back. Let me bring them on. They're all in the back. Let me get in a few minutes. Let's enjoy ourselves. You see, why, James? You gotta listen to me. Don't bring these people on, James. Listen to me, James. But I will say this to you. You asked that question. Paul Kennedy can run, right? And he's running. But is he running to win? Like somebody told me today about Costa. Still, you sure Costa going to run? Is Costa running to win? Will Costa jump in the race? I say you got to understand the Liberian politics. Even he's traveling. He go to Liberia. He say he will be there on the 30th, on the first, whatever the day is. But these guys want the messages to go across. Amara Cornet have to settle with Paul Kennedy. Look at the pictures today. Paul Kennedy team went to meet the president, to welcome him in Buffalo. I will post the pictures. Man got the command of the people. He got them. He's not a small potato. Nathan reaching out to Paul Kennedy. Paul Kennedy came third in Buffalo. Say what you want to say. He don't have the money like Amara Cornet, but the people trust him. He gave Boto Kennedy hard time. For you to be senator, whether Paul Kennedy or Amara Cornet or Nathan, they have to settle with Paul Kennedy. Kennedy can be the spotter in this thing.
Let me welcome Chima Sepi and Dr. Peabody. But let me say this though. If UP is feeding a candidate, it will be a tough election though. I mean, take it or leave it. The former vice president is well known in Babolu and Lofa, and I'm sure if he put a weight behind his candidate and they get a good candidate, it will be a tough fight in Lofa, in Babolu. It will be a tough fight because it will be a general election. A midterm election is different from a general election where we have a presidential candidate on the ballot. So that will be a tough election. But guys, welcome, and you can give your thoughts about the issue about Babolu.
But I beg you, before the latecomers come in.
I can Jerry Joe totally hosting the way he can be acting.
Let me real quick. Let me say this. You say if UP, UP, what are they feeding a candidate, right? I don't think UP want to make that mistake they made in, how you call it, in Lofa. UP should remain. They should be very careful. Another beat down, another fake candidate. Forget it. UP should be very now. Who will UP send? Can UP go beyond Amara Cornet that already got the blessing of President Weah? UP cannot settle for Nathan. can UP support Paul Kennedy? Any one of those three, if UP bring anybody, they will not measure up to any one of those three. And that's the problem. Oh my God, Paul Kennedy coming on. He needs so much, now he coming on. Oh my God. But let's hear from these guys then before I bring it on real quick.
Yes, that's before the guys come in. But don't forget now, it depends. I don't know what am I running on UP ticket or independent. And I know the last time
running as an independent. Amara cannot run on UP ticket. How you expect Amara to run on UP ticket if CDC, the McGill supporting, the Snow, the president? He cannot run on the CDC ticket. He must run as an independent and behave like Edward Snow to be free to fly. But Amara it's a CDC in disguise. He will be running as a CDC in disguise. And that's why we need to talk about Amara. Who is the real Amara, Connor? We need to bring Amara story up. Now you're running to be a senator in Bapolu. Who's the real Amara Connor? I mean, well, it's for another show. Man. Bring your people in.
It's fair game. I mean, once you're running, you become in a public space. Your record will be brought to this for discussion, and it's fair game. But Chairman Senvi and everybody, what your thoughts about this? First of all, give your thoughts about the hospital dedicated today by the president, and also the importance of Bapolu, the county in the senatorial election next year.
So thank you. It's good to be. Thank you. It's good to see you guys. Bapolu is a very interesting county. Bapolu was, I think it was considered a gift that was given to the people of Lower Lofa from the Taylor years. They went to President Taylor and made the case that whenever there was development in regards to Lofa County, they were getting the shorter end of the stick. And so that's where, and Taylor had a lot of affinity towards that end of the county with Chief Jalalun, Tamba Taylor, I think all of those, and Paul maybe can dig a little deeper into that. But having said that, I think it's going to be a very important county in 2023, especially when you're looking at an election that may be very close. It's going to be a very competitive election. Now, in the issue of and I'll talk about the hospital, which is a good thing. I think the people of Bapolu deserve all the people of Liberia deserve state-of-the-art health care facilities. Let's state that for the record. But I think this was a major step in the right direction on behalf of the government. I mean, on the part of the government. But on the issue of the local elections, senatorial representatives, I think it's not gonna. I don't think the party affiliations are going to be heavily in tow. I think it's going to be about ground game. I think it's going to be about what you have done. Someone like Paul may have a small added advantage because he's ran before. The good thing about running in Liberian election is once you have some scars to show that you've ran for office before, you don't have to worry about your name, about your name going, about people knowing who you are because you have ran for office before. So, but nobody should underestimate Amara Kone. Amara Kone is a name. He's a name brand. He's been Minister of Finance. He has a strong network of young people that I think he is going to be Paul and the rest of the candidates' greatest competitor. I just want to be frank here. I think he's going to.
What have he done? What have he done for Bapolu?
Well,
what have he done since he left the country?
Yeah. So
the time. What have he done for the county? That's the question we should be asking.
Yeah. So not necessary. So you can analyze it in two different ways. Amara Kone is a son of the county. He has roots in the county. He comes from an ethnic group that is very populated within the county. You can't take that out of the thing. I don't know what his resume is.
All the other guys that are running, they have the same information on them. Yeah, but son of the county. They have ethnic background. They got population. They got everything. Historically, these guys are all from Bapolu. It's not different from Amara Kone.
There are. I mean, obviously, in every race, there are front runners. In every
race. You consider Amara Kone a front runner compared to Paul Kennedy?
He's dead spot.
Okay, so if you agree with that, what have Amara Kone done though? Say he said as finance minister, what did he do for Bapolu?
Well, let me say this. I'm not Amara's campaign spokesperson, so I don't know. I don't have his a file here on the things he has done. I'm speaking from the analogy of name recognition, having connections on the ground. I didn't say here that it's a slam dunk for him. I don't believe that this is a race that he's immediately going to win. What I'm saying is he's among the top tier candidates. That's my point.
All right.
Well,
let me welcome Paul Kennedy. Paul is one of the stalwarts of the, I think, in different party now, because the last time I checked, he ran a different party ticket. But I know that Paul comes. He was one of the pioneers of the CDC today, from back in 2004. I remember him well. So, welcome, and everybody. Yes, your thoughts.
well, let me firstly congratulate. Good to see everybody, by the way. But let me congratulate the government for constructing the state-of-the-art hospital in Bapulu. I think it was a good way to go. And my hope is that we will have the healthcare practitioners that will really be able to run this hospital. There will be roads where people can travel from their villages or their towns to make it to this hospital, not just building a hospital in the center of the place, and they don't have roads, you don't have access to the roads, so it makes it difficult. But I hope we'll have everything in place, healthcare professional and to really run this hospital when we get there and be sitting, because I don't know but the last time I checked, the population of Bapulu was around 83,000 people. That these 83,000 people will be able to get the health care that they need. In regards to the senatorial race there in Wakani, I believe Paul and Amara both are formidable candidates. The both of them are great candidates. I mean, Liberia would love to have the two of them. One of them in the Senate to represent. The both of them can do, not because Paul is here, but I believe that both of them can really lead and direct. Paul has an excellent resume. For the short time I've seen him at the infill and see what he have done. I mean, I've heard from people, and people have told me about some of the great work that Paul has been doing. Unlike just like Amara has a great name, former senator former Minister of Finance. He worked with the World Bank. And I've told that Amar had a farm in that area. He runs a whole farm and things like that. I think that both of them are great candidates, and I will wish them the best. But at the end of the day, the people of Bapulu will make a decision, and they will choose who the person to lead them. But I believe that both of them are very good people who can make great decisions and can lead their people.
Well, but just before I go to Paul, but you know that Amara served the Unity Party-led government, and they had almost like the main party, the main competitor against the CDC, and I'm sure they would try to tie the record of UP and everything along with him. Whatever case, like Stanton said, a record will be on the line. They'll be scrutinized, and his opponents will be there. But Mr. Kennedy, welcome. And my question is, are you running for Bapulu's senatorial position?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good evening, everyone outside the United States. And I want to especially say hello to my people in Bapulu. To answer your question straight up front, yes, by God's willing, Paul Kennedy will be one of the candidates that will be on the ballot for 2023 senatorial elections in Liberia. And I will definitely be contesting in Bapulu to represent my people.
Wow. Okay. Before we go, what are your thoughts about the dedication of the hospital today in Bapulu, first of all? Your folks were there. They represented you there.
And it's, it's difficult for me, gentlemen. Let me say hello to P. Bali, to the chairman, and the CEO, and the rest of the people who have given me this platform. Stanton, I can't say much. Whenever I'm in town, I want to stop by to say hi. But, St. Timberland, the question of what do I feel about the hospital in Bapulu, I mean, it's overwhelming. I'll let put politics aside. Let me say thank you to the president and his team and the government for considering Bapulu as a place to put this kind of state-of-the-art hospital. And the Reverend made it clear. You know, he said the hospital is just not a building. The hospital is a part of a health system. In health system management, the hospital, which is the facility, the health human resources, which are the nurses, doctors, PT, OTs, PAs, and other people who have to work on this in this facility, and then the health technology. The technology includes the equipment, the testing protocols, and all of that. That all three of them have to be together to have a good hospital or a good health system. One aspect of the health system is out, which is the facility. Another aspect of it is clear, which is the health technology. I'm told that that hospital is going to be funded and is going to be well equipped with all the modern infrastructures and facilities required. My only challenge is sustainability. The government has to ensure that when the Emirates donor group leave, there is a sustainability plan in place to pick up from where the donors are leaving from. Under my estimate, as a health system manager, and over the years that I've been managing and planning health system around the world, it would take at least 1,000 health human resource capacity to run that hospital fully to all of its functionality. And out of that 1,000, you will have at least 750 support staff and about 250 trained health workers, including nurses, doctors, OT, PTs, and the rest of those people who are actually trained and certificated to work within the healthcare. And then because Bapulu does not have, a running electricity, we're going to need a generator capacity of at least 500 kVA to run that hospital fully on a daily basis. So I'm just naming those things out there to let our listeners hear that the hospital is a good thing and it's going to help the people of Bapulu. In fact, the people of the region, in that western region. But to answer your question, my brother, the government will have to find a way of continue to begin to work with the donors so that before the donor leaves, there is a plan in place that's going to begin to consider the sustainability of the hospital. But this is a good thing that's happening for the people of Bapulu today. I can almost guarantee you this hospital will be too much of a big hospital if it is just Bapulu. So we need to be calling people from Lofa, calling people from Cape Mount and all around the place to come to help us, to fill in that hospital. So it's a good thing. I'm very happy today.
Well, the last time you ran in Bapulu, I think you came third, and since then, have you been involved with the county, and also why should the people of Bapulu choose you over Senator Netan, who's the current senator, and Amara Connor, who is a son of that county who is contesting?
Timberland, to correct you, when I ran, I actually came fourth out of 9 candidates. And that was my first time running for any office anywhere. When I came back to Liberia 2017, I saw that my county, the place I hail from, after staying away from Liberia for almost 20 years, came back to see that the county had only depreciated in its human capacity and livability. Let me just call a word for short. To live in Bapulu was very difficult. It took me 5 hours to travel 65 miles from Monrovia to Bapulu City. 5 hours. And I'm talking about both ways, whether you pass through Todmabra or whether you go through Broadville to come to Swan Maka to go to Bapulu. It was just deplorable. The road conditions were bad. The health system was not correct. You had people working 3-4 hours, pregnant women, going to hospitals. At the time, you had only 2 public high schools, and both public high schools were situated in a part of the county that were adjacent to Monrovia. So people in Bele, Gongolala, Kongba, and Bokomo and other parts of the county did not have access to high school. So if you graduated from, if you finished with 7th and 8th grade, you were done with high school. As a result, Bapolu started producing or is producing a very high rate of high school dropout. So those conditions made me to run for Senate in 2020. I ran. I had not run for anything. I had been away from the county for a long time. So when I came back, for me, it was a tester. I ran and didn't win. Out of 9 candidates, I came 4th. But since then, I've not disengaged because Timberlane, those conditions where I ran are still in Bapolu. I mean, you still find it difficult to go to Bapolu. Anytime I carry my Land Cruiser to Bapolu, when I come back, it has to go into the shop for service. The roads are still bad. We do not have electricity there. The folks, in fact, there are teachers on payroll who are not there in the school system teaching. Most of our schools in Bapolu are populated with volunteer teachers. I mean, I went to one town in Bama called Mamboy to visit a school there, you know, with almost 120 students with one teacher. You know, so these things coming in Bapolu, where people are digging gold and diamond every night, you know, contributing to the national treasure, and to come to find out my people are disenfranchised by government, only makes me to want to continue to run. And I will continue to run until I have the opportunity to serve, to bring central government to check, to collaborate with them, to make them to understand that Bapolu is just not a place. It is actually a part of Liberia and should be getting the kind of benefit Montserrat, Bassa, Nimba, and other counties are getting. You know, so to answer your question, yes, I ran, didn't do well, but we'll run again because I've been working and listening and consulting with the people of Bapolu. They actually want somebody to represent them. I've lived with them. I'm living with them now. Every day I wake up and see one old lady who have not eaten. Of course, she's not married. Maybe she's a widow. She's unable to make farm. She does not have the ability to work. But there's no social service covering those kind of people in my country. So if people like us didn't stop by to give them food to eat, those people will sleep hungry. And that's not anything that is acceptable in these modern days and time. So when you see that I am pushing forward, I'm engaging, I've abandoned most of what I could be benefiting in the United States, staying in Bapolu with my people, I think it's the best way to represent them.
Wow. Well, let me go to the CEO. Before I go to the CEO, somebody just told me that this program, they're listening to this program in Bapolu. So just know the people in Bapolu listening to you. And it will be a tough election because I know Minister Conner was Minister of Finance, and I know in the Alliance administration, and I know the issue will come about during his tenure in the government of President Salif. What was his role, the activities, involvement in the county, and I'm getting comments there that people are raising this issue. But I heard that he has huge investment in the county though. But anyway, it left for you guys that are running. But CEO, what are your thoughts on his who will let Mr.
Yeah, let's talk about this Bapolu thing, and it's important for us to, you know, with all due respect to Paul Kennedy, Amara Kwanen, the 10, the rest of them. I also believe that one Fatu is running as well. Is it true? You have a female running by the name Fatu?
Fatima.
Yeah, I think the correct name is Fatima Zina.
Fatima Zina.
Yes.
At the Sano program in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, there is Bapolu is inclusive. We have a female running also.
Correct. So everybody that have decided to jump in this race, they jump in the race for a reason. Because I believe, before I ask you my question, Paul, those folks that have been representing Bapolu, they have failed the people, like Nathan. Nathan have failed the people, you know, a complete disgrace. Here comes Amara Kone. 12 years, model your services in government. What did you do? Must you be senator before you give back? We need to ask Amara Kone his achievement and what he did for the people of Bapolu. And I know the time going to come, he will appear on Spawn, and we're going to ask him. Now, personal we are, McGill recognized the need. So we're going to put a hospital in Bapaloo. They're going to serve Sierra Leone. They're going to serve Lofa and all the counties surrounding our area. It's a good thing, beautiful thing. They got a solar system to electrify the building. Beautiful. We're encouraging men and women that are in the medical and the health care business to move over there and serve the people of Bapaloo. You know how it is. Nurses have to travel to work. You got to give them extra per diem for traveling costs. We got to encourage people to move and save lives. But my question to you, Paul, you ran before. What have you done for the people of Bapaloo? They didn't give you the position first. They should give it to you now. And the same question I will ask the rest of them. So let me ask you, what can you show that will encourage the people to say, we will vote for Paul?
Thank you, CEO. Thank you very much. So let me come back to a couple of things you just emphasized. The hospital is a blessing for Bapaloo. If nothing else it does, it's going to create some kind of job for the people of Bapaloo, but it's also going to create access to health care for the people of Bapaloo, which is a very paramount thing, by the way. You know, when international countries, when international government come, they talk about the sources of government. They also check the population density per access to health care. How well is this country doing as far as healthcare investment in its people, which is one of the indicators of the MCC, by the way. So the hospital is a good thing for us as a county and the country as a whole. I think the question we should be asking is not because I'm running for position. So we should be asking, what have you done for the people? You know, let me come back to our and my life in Bapaloo will speak for itself, because when Chairman Ben Sanvi was youth advisor to the president, I was in Bapaloo, you know, advocating for the people of Bapaloo and conducting HIV and AIDS awareness there. That was 1997, 98. You know, while my chairman was a big shot, I was in the dungeons trying to educate people there and advocate on their behalf. But we'll come to that. Normally, CEO, most of the political, I don't want to call the name crook, but the political savvy people, they will sit down and figure out, because the question will come, what have you done for the people? So they will go and build wells, they will build latrines, they will start building makeshift roads. Some of them will even build schools and clinics that they will not be able to provide teachers for, or to provide, doctors to. But they're going to build those infrastructure, because the question will come, what have you done for the people? Now, without any plan for sustainability, without any ability to improve those sectors and those structures they build, without any future outlines of how they're going to maintain those places, they do it to malign the people so that the people vote for them. Once the people put them in an electoral position, they never go back to maintain or sustain those things. So, while I think it's a good thing to get involved, to work with your people, I don't think that people are actually only measured by the infrastructure or the things you build. Now, when it comes back to some of the involvement I've been with my people, I've been involved in Bapaloo since 1998. At the time, I was just a young man, with nothing, but I was advocating for them. When the Red Cross was about to close down all of its emergency programs in Liberia, because at the time President Taylor had just won, and humanitarian relief activities were being cut down, the Red Cross decided they were going to do repatriation and resettlement of internally displaced persons. But their argument was, they can only carry relief items to part of the country that have its chapters. So because I was in the Red Cross at the time, working as one of the relief workers, I ran to Bapaloo, set up a chapter, because they had a chapter in Vonjama, in Lofa, and that's where most of the time, because Bapaloo was part of Lower Lofa, most of the time they only carry stuff to Vonjama, and they completely forget about the people in the lower part of Lofa. which led to some of the reasons why we now have Bapolo County today, to Chairman Sanvi point. So I ran there, arranged, put a structure together, and established the Red Cross chapter you have in Bapolo now. What became Bapolo, Lower Lofa. I established that Red Cross chapter, working with a couple of people like Sando Fawen, the late John Lome, Mr. Sanford Matako, and a couple of people in Bapolo. Since I left Bapolo and came to the US, I started working back with my school, Bapolo Bauer Mission. So in 2000, 2001, I was select 1 or 2 people in a high school that I came from to actually pay their WIC. At the time, they had something called WIC. They paid their WIC fees, put few of them on scholarship. But I was only using my little widow mite at the time. So 2021, all of the time I lived in the US until I went back 2017, I was always involved in giving back to the people of Bapolo, Bopolo, and later on Bapolo. As we speak, when I relocated in Liberia with the Millennium Challenge, I increased my scholarship program from 10 students to in 2017 to 19 students, and then 2020 up to the end of 2020, I had 120 students on scholarship in Bapolo, all over the country, to various schools that were particularly in Bopolo district. I also worked with most of the hospitals. I single-handedly carried drugs that supply all of the 10 functioning clinics in Bapolo since 2019 to 2021. If you ask the CHO at the time, one gentleman called Dr. Zwana, and the current CHO now, they'll all tell you how involved I've been into carrying drugs and helping with, the educational and the healthcare system in the country. Because I believe that if you have 20 educated or 200 educated people coming out of Bapolo, like Paul Kennedy and other people who are educated, will not be neglected. We will be able to advocate on our behalf. We'll be able to bring, to create some jobs in the country.
Paul, let me ask my second question. I beg you, because I'm sorry to interrupt you because we don't have enough time. Let me ask you my second question.
Oh, you may answer question, please. I beg you, Paul.
Yeah, let me ask you my second question real quick, Mr. Kennedy. You running. Distinguish yourself from the rest of the folks that are in the race. Let's start with Senator Nathan. What makes you different? Then we'll come down to Amara Corner. Just 2 of them.
I will leave that to the judges, and the judges for me will be the voters. But what I can tell the voters here will be that Paul Kennedy is an honest son of Bapolo. Paul Kennedy has never, ever taken a dime that he didn't work and sweat for. Paul Kennedy is an advocate, and he's a person who wants to make sure that everyone has the equal share of the natural resources. Now, I'm not comparing myself to Senator Natin or Honorable Amar Kone, but they are competitors. They are in a race. And, it's good to set myself apart from them. I'm not a recurring or recycled government politician. I'm a technician providing consultancy for the Liberian government. I've never found myself in any appointed or elected position before in government. So I believe that there are a couple of people, Senator Natin have served for 18 years. His track record will show the people of Bapolo why they should vote for him. Honorable Amar Kone also served as the Minister of Finance, and his service, and let's see at the time he served, people should be able to see what he did in Bapolo. So like I said from the beginning, I'll leave that to the Bapolo people.
I'll follow up very quick. I know these guys. I'll follow up very quick, Paul. So then you say you're honest, man. Be honest to your people. Bapolo right now, you say they need help. They need a representation, a godly representation. Almost 18 years. Did Nathan serve to the will of the people? Did he serve well? Is he serving well? Senator Nathan.
As a resident of Bapolo, I will tell you he's done his part. He could do more. I'm a Bapolo County resident. I'm a Bapolo County citizen. I have a lot of questions and doubt about Senator Nathan's and most of the legislature members' ability and their leadership mark in the county. I don't think that our country has been served well. But again, it's collective leadership. So
No, I'm
Nathan,
not talking about the collective leadership. You gotta be straight up now. You either in or you out. You want to be senator. There's a reason why you want remove Nathan. As a son of Bapalu, has he served well? Is he serving well? Should they give him a second chance?
I will leave that to the Bapolo people to judge, Stanton. Like I said, I am not the ultimate voter.
But you running
I
to
am
be
one
a
of
senator.
one of the
You cannot
voters.
say you will leave that to them to George if you're trying to take this man out of the position. You want to take his position. So what are you telling the people? I leave them with you, but you want the people to vote for you, right?
The people at Bapolo have seen that their life in the past few years have not been well. They are struggling for job. They don't have job in Bapolo. Most of the reason why we have to live in Monrovia and be commuting back and forth from Bapolo is you can't stay in Bapolo and do any job there because there are little or no jobs there at all. The government has not created much opportunity there for people. And Senator Nate is a part of the government. He's been a part of the Ellen Johnson government. He's currently a part of this President Weah's government. So collectively, when you hear me say it's a collective leadership, I will blame the legislature for not doing their part. I will blame the national government for its challenges. But if I was to vote today, I will be voting for Paul Kennedy. I will not be voting for Senator Nate because I think that he had time enough to be able to do those things to improve the life and well-being of the people. I don't know why, but he has not done them. So that's why I'm running against him.
So let's talk about Americone. He served in the past government. Did he help his people from Buffalo? He helped you, a son from Buffalo? Was he good to his people? Did he give back to them?
Again, Senator, I'm not the judge, but I'll be honest with you. I lived in Bapolo since 2017. Unfortunately, when I relocated to Bapolo, I don't think Minister Connor was Minister of Finance at the time. It was Boyman Kamara was the Minister of Finance. So I really did not sit in Liberia under Minister Connor's leadership as Finance Minister. But of course, the marks are there. We need to go back to the county to see. I've been working around there. I've not seen anything. Someone has pointed to me that was some influence of Minister Connor. I mean, of course, if somebody talk about he has his farm. Your farm is not a development. Your farm is a personal asset. When Minister Connor grows up or he decides he's going to leave the country, whatever he chooses to do with his farm is what benefits him and his family. I don't like people. I got a farm in Bapolo too, so I don't like people talking about farms. If you honestly want to help people in development sector, find 13 or 15 or 17 farmers, give them subsidized loan, let them start their own farms, let them be the one to do farm. I'm not moved by senators and ministers who go and make their own farm and say, oh, I have a farm. As long as you are not helping other people to make farm, if we have 50 persons in Bapolo County who got loan from Minister Connor to make the same farm he made, I'll be clapping for Minister Connor today. I'm not going to clap for him because of the farm he made for his personal asset. So I can't point my hand to much of the thing he has done in Bapolo. I really can't see it. I was the chairman of the sports steering committee in 2018, 2019. We reached out, was struggling for money. We didn't get a dime from anybody besides Nathaniel McGill. So, I mean, these are how people can contribute towards, the development and the growth of their county. So, again, like I said, it's the voters who are going to have to decide that. But if you ask me personally, as a resident of Bapolo, what has Honorable Amara Connor done there? I can't see anything to put my hand to.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Connor.
It'll be a tough election. I can see this. The Bible election going. We're gonna go to the wire. But Chairman Sevi, you had a question for Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, and congratulations on the decision to run again. I think public service is a noble feat. Anyone who mustered the courage to run for public office, I salute them. It's sometimes it's easier said than done. Running for public office is no joke. There's a lot of responsibility, family pressure, all of that. I'm sure you've taken all of that into concern. So let me thank you first for even putting yourself up. But let me ask you a question regarding what party politics may play here. First of all, which party do you intend to run on? Are you running as an independent? Secondly, how do you think, based on the local configuration, I'm sure you have your boots on the ground. Talk to me about the local configuration. Is this going to be a situation where party politics is going to play? I know Tommy mentioned before, who people will endorse, who, all of those things. I want you to talk to us about what are the dynamics in Bapolu today from your perspective, and what is your pathway to victory?
Thank you, Chairman Senvi. You raised some very salient points. As far as Bapolu is concerned, the people of Bapolu will vote for people who care about them. Party politics has some relevance, but it is not the ultimate decision-making process when it relates to election in Bapolu, especially senatorial election.
Is he? I think he's stuck, right?
Yeah, I think my internet is misbehaving.
Yeah, you're back.
But I was speaking of the party politics. No.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
I'm not in Bapolu. Unfortunately, I'm sitting down in Washington, D.C.
Oh, you're in D.C.? Okay. So you're back. So you're here. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And the internet, I think the internet in Bapolu is stronger than this.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was saying that people of Bapolu will vote for you because of how you've been with them, how you related to them. How have you sat down with them to listen to their needs, to use the little resources you have to point them in the direction they want to go to. People are just looking for hope. How have you been there to provide them that hope? So party politics, as I said, why it has some place to play from the support and the support perspective, is actually not the ultimate decision making. I am a member of the Liberian National Union. I joined National Union in 2018 of September. When I ran in 2020, I ran as a candidate on the Liberian National Union ticket. They've been very supportive of me. If you heard recently, we have now a new political leader. Chairman is the current Dr. Clarence Moniba. We're working together. I am a member of the executive committee of the LANU. So I intend to continue to be with LANU. LANU has a very fine platform. It intends to serve the people of Liberia, regardless of which background you are and how much money you have. LANU is an inclusive party. You come there today, you exhibit hard work, you get to leadership by your hard work, not by who know you or your name in society. So when you have those kind of grassroots parties that are actually striving to promote transparency and accountability in society, and knowing my own principle align with that, I mean, I could look no further place to go for political strength. But in Bapolu, it doesn't matter who you are. You saw the last election, somebody who ran independent beat CDC in Bapolu, so it's not about the political party you align with. It is about how long and how well you've served and listening to the people in Bapolu. So that's going to be a factor in Bapolu. And my pathway, you asked, my pathway is in my collaboration with the people. As I told you, I'm sitting in Washington, D.C. But today, the Friends of Paul turns out in the numbers, because we had a conversation. If the president and this government build a kind of hospital like this for us, the least we want to show to this president is gratitude. That does not mean we align with party politics or we're in support of most of the things he's doing, but we want to give him, we want to commend him. And we talk to our folks, and you saw how they turn up. All around that place today were all but Friends of Paul all over the place. So when you live with your people, when you call on them, they will show up to support you.
Thank you. Let me ask my second question quickly. So you, and I'm going to put it two in one. Friends of Paul was out there today. First of all, this is an election year. We are less than a year away from the election. When you have posters with you and the president side by side, you can clearly see how that image is projected out there as Paul endorsing. That was going to be my next question. Are you endorsing President Weah's second term? And like you said, you remind me of what Edwin Snow said when he said, if you make Bommy happy, Bommy will make you happy, right? You didn't say that just now, but it sounded similar to what you were saying. So I want some clarity on that, on whether who are you going to be aligning to for the presidential, because you're running for senator. You're not running for, you are running for the district. When you're running for senator, the whole county, right? Where are you leaning? Who are you looking at? Are you in conversation with all of the major contenders in the race? And then the last piece that I want to include here has to do with this issue of sustainability when you talk about that hospital. I want you to tell me, Senator Paul Kennedy, what's going to be your first 100 days? What is it going to look like? First 100 days in the Liberian Senate. What is it going to look like?
Yeah. So let me start up with a clarification. In a day, I will stand side by side with this president for the good work he did to that hospital. So when you see me on a poster with him, the poster clearly spoke. The Friends of Paul Kennedy welcome President George Manuel Weah to Bopolu City, and we want to thank him for our hospital. If you go and read that poster, that's what it says. It does not talk about me trying to join CDC or providing any other support to CDC. What it speaks of is that Paul Kennedy and his friends are just very happy for the president's intervention in the county. If you do this again, we'll be there in the numbers. In fact, I was trying to adjust my flight to be in Monrovia today, but it was not possible because I got the information about the hospital dedication very late. If I had the means, I would be standing in Bapolu today, and I'll be there to commend the president, somebody coming from the healthcare background. So I did that from that approach. As far as what would be my 100-day stuff, normally we plan for people all the time, Chairman, without getting the people involved. I'm trying to bring a new term of leadership to the Liberian Senate. The colleagues there, the guys there are doing well, but maybe the approach they are using sometimes are different. My approach would be after election, if I'm the winner, I'll come back, engage the caucus, because Bapolu County has a legislative caucus. I'll be one new member joining them. And I think everybody in that caucus has should have a common goal. The common goal should be the upliftment and improvement of the lives and well-being of the people of Bapolu. If that is their goal, then we'll have our meeting in Bapolu, make sure that we sit down, hold up a very large meeting in all the districts, hear what the people want us to go and work on, have a 1 year, 2 year, and a 3 year plan of all of our achievable, and then we go to the legislature to go and work on that. Will be measured. Our success in the legislature will be measured by what we accomplish on behalf of the Bapolu people. These are the people we're supposed to be representing. These are the people we should be listening to. So if you're asking, what am I depending on? I'm depending on these very voters. They are the ones who will send me. I'm looking for a job for them to employ me to go and advocate on their behalf in government. If all 200,000 of them could be sitting down in Monrovia telling the president what to do, you'll be having a lot of noise. People from Nima, people from all around the country. But they are asking for specific people to come to be their representative. These people who go out to Capitol building should be able to advocate on their behalf. And I think this is the advocacy that is lacking. Is the reason why you still have high schools in Bapolu that don't have teachers in them. So, I hope that they give me the opportunity to go to serve them.
Thank you. So you're not leaning anywhere, right? No endorsement.
I will continue.
You strategically skip that question. So I don't want to
continue. Thank you for bringing me back. I honestly forgot it. I will continue to work with the people of Bapolu. the people of Bapolu would tell me
Boy,
where
that's
to
too big, man.
where to lean. You know, when you make legislative representation leadership about who's the political party and who's the president, that president dictates what you do to your people.
Okay.
I don't want to go to the Senate to be a whip there or to be somebody who will be called. So I'll be looking to the people of Bapolu to give me the power of who we're going to support. So we are working with them. And then these political leaders, presidential aspirants, should be looking to see which one of us they can work with. My people of Bapolu spoke today to them that we are there. We're not silent. We are silent, but we are not forgetting. You know, if we want, we can pull up to 1,000 people in Bapolu to support you. If you keep them, they well, then 1,000 people will come to speak to you.
But I saw the president picture next to your picture. People are coming. Sorry, go ahead.
Paul, good to see you as always. Well, let me ask
Dr. Peabody.
Yes, sir. By the way, congratulations. Your family, your daughter got married, and congratulations for that. This is a good thing. But if you are in the Senate right now, what is one thing you would do? One thing right now would change.
One thing I would change is to improve and strengthen the school system in Bapolu. You produce educated people in Bapolu, they will create jobs, they will run their county, they'll be able to bring investors, they'll be able to actually improve the cost and well-being of living of the people. That's number one priority, improving education in my county. And then you can talk about healthcare, because you know, it's not just one thing you can do to change everything. Leadership is about the interconnectability of issues. Everything interlinked to give a successful outcome. So as much as I'm going to prioritize health, education and healthcare, of course, we need to talk about job creation. And we need to be working with people to see how much we can improve the health of the disabled people, the women that are there. You know, what participation are we getting them involved in? How are people who did not graduate from high schools, who don't have the ability to go back to college, how are we working with them to do some development, some capacity building for them to improve their well-being? So it's just 900 things that we can do, but number one would be to build the capacity and educate the people of Bapolu.
Thank you. Also, you are contesting the senatorial seat next year. We are just a few days from 2023, and voter registration has been postponed to March. This is a problem because if you're going to register people in March, you got less than probably 6 or 7 months for election. What is being done? How do you see your county of Bapolu or those people getting registered and all of that? How do you see that? That's a problem, Paul. Don't you see that?
It has been a problem. In fact, there are places in Bapolu where people walk 1 hour from the town they reside to go to the next town to register. That in itself has created a lot of, you know, disenchantment of the voting process. There are challenges, and I've been to at least 144 of the 188 towns in Bapolu. I've walked and slept in every major town in Bapolu. Some of the places, there are no network connectivity. You have to walk 2-3 hours to go to stand on one tree to talk to somebody on the phone. There are certain places network come every 5 or 6 days. So you charge your Lone Star, meaning sometimes 4 days there's no Lone Star meaning in the county. If you talk to some of the reporters there now, they have to be switching between network to see how they upload the stories that come from there. So Bapolu is very challenged. And for it to be that close to Montserrado and that challenge, I think it's just the sheer neglect that comes out of government and administration. So you are right. You know, we've been talking with the local election magistrate to see how, you know, they could decentralize some of the voter registration areas to enable people to go to want to vote, because these things discourage people from going to vote. If I have to walk 3 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes to go to register to vote, I can almost tell you it's not going to induce me to want to do that. So you are right. In the late, deferred voter registration process and cancellation of stipulated dates are all ways that could, you know, make the people to be discouraged from going to vote. So the best we could do is to appeal to the government to see how they could prioritize, you know, providing some money to to the National Election Commissions to begin to do its work. I'm not part, of any appointed leadership to know what's happening at the National Election Commission at the moment, but we know that this deferred of registration date will hit up the registration process and will leave a lot of people out from being registered. I can almost guarantee you that, which in itself will not play too well for the entire electoral process, because whenever you deny people of the right of registering to vote, you are silencing them, little by little. So I hope there will be a day like Montserrat when there are voter registration centers all around the place where people can just walk or sit in keke or on people to go to register. But that is not the case for Bapolu. So you are right. It is a concern. When I come back to Monrovia, I'm leaving today. I'm getting ready now to go and get my flight. These are conversations we're going to be having with the administration to see how they can make some way to accommodate the voters in Bapolu and other rural counties like Rewa G and other places.
One quick follow up. You talk about there's no road, there's no electricity, there's not even a cell phone tower in Bapolu. How do you plan to get the message across there?
Let me correct you. Let me correct myself. There are cell phone towers. There are roads, but they are in limited areas. That was what I said. Yeah. There are certain part of Bapolu that you cannot get network. I've been talking with colleagues at the GSM companies to see, because they have these mobile towers that they can put in certain places. But then, their issue becomes cost. What's the population there? And in other countries, Dr. Peabody, you have lived in the U.S. and other places. Government also has a responsibility to build some of the infrastructures that are needed for business people to thrive on. Let's say Bapolu had telecommunication infrastructure all around built by LTC. The GSM company will have just gone in and used these facilities. But of course, if the GSM companies have to go and start building their own infrastructure and start building their own stuff, it's an issue of how much customers can they have there. So you have to give and take. And these are the kind of conversations we're going to be having at the Senate level. How can we incentivize, GSM company to make sure that these rural counties are actually mobilized? Because to be honest, let's say a woman in Gonjale was pregnant and had to be moved to Bopolu to the hospital. Without network, how do you even move her? So, communication is a very vital aspect in health system management. You can have the best hospitals in the county. If you don't have means for people outside the locale of the hospital to call into the hospital for emergency, you are almost wasting your time, because you're not going to have the needed people actually coming there. So telephone and telecommunication is a very good aspect of anything in the county, and that's something that we're going to be working with with our colleagues in the Senate to see how we can talk to these GSM investors, look at their contract to see what we can do to subsidize them. If there's any little money, like you're subsidizing rice, communication should also be subsidized, for my opinion. So those are the kind of things that government needs to look at. But of course, government is thriving on very limited resources. So decentralized government, let Bapolu County run her own, economic and political affairs. We have enough gold and diamonds. We could, invite telecommunication companies to come to Bapolu using our limited resources to set up shop. Bapolu County could run her own school system. Stanton, you live in New Jersey. New Jersey has her own, the counties run the school system. It's not the country running the school system. The country can be the regulator of the school system. Give us our health system. Let Bapolu County run her own health system. But to do that, we have to get our resources, and then we have to give percentage of taxes to the government, and the rest remain will have to run the infrastructure and the system in the county. Those are some of the things I'm going to be preaching at the Senate level. There's a decentralized, there's a county development agenda that was written in 2012. There's a local government act of 2018 that President we have signed that talk about decentralization of both economic and political power. Let them do that. superintendents, county executive officers, they have the ability to run the county. If something I tell you, if the superintendent position was an elected position, I would be running for superintendent of Bapolu County so that I'm able to administer the daily affairs of the county. I will not even be wasting my time to go to the national level to run for Senate there. So, you know, you guys should advocate for the decentralization. Government needs to effectively decentralize the system. Government is not able to run schools and effectively run the educational system from the centralized perspective.
Wow. Mr. Kennedy, you got to catch a flight. I don't want you to miss that flight. So I will say this though. You know, this will be one of the closest watched senatorial election next year. A lot of smart people running for that position. I just learned to another smart and powerful guy, Mohammed Dukle, is running for that seat too. Mohammed Dukle is another brilliant guy running for that seat. And I also learned that when Minister Connor left office, he built a clinic and also built a school. But man, saying he left office. But again,
in your hometown.
What's the noise you hear?
Behind your house, he built a clinic and a school. Listen, he built a clinic and a school. He built a clinic and a school. Minister Connor built a clinic and a school in Bella Baza behind your house. Outside Bella Baza where he lived, Minister Connor can show me anything he has built in Bapolu County outside the village he has lived.
Okay, but Paul, let me ask you a question.
Let me come in right quick. Ben, that's my time. I know you asked me. Paul Kennedy, I know. Listen, I know you will come back again because this is you're not a stranger to this network.
Thank you,
but
gentlemen.
It is important for us to talk about the county Bapolu. You call them cycling politicians. They're just like a revolving door. Amara Kone, he served under Madam Salif, one of the richest finance minister ever in Liberia history, right? Why now? Must he come back to run for that position?
But you say you ain't invited, huh?
No, hold on back.
Why you asking me about what am I going to want?
No, I'm asking you because we really need to stretch this out.
Of course.
It is pathetic, to see Americana coming back and saying, let me be senator. And he's not even running as a UP senator, but now he's leaning CDC, getting the blessing of the president, the blessing of McGill, and the blessing of Edwin Snow. I hope, Paul, thank you for coming back. I know your internet just tripped. But
yeah,
what's your message to the people? Do they need another American at this time?
CEO, thank you. And like I said before, I'm here on this platform to promote myself, and the people of Bapolu will have to ask American those hard questions. And you are right. As the finance minister is the chief financial officer of the country. The finance minister, the minister of finance and development planning, says the name. He plans the financial and developmental aspects of the country. So if I was finance minister, I will have, by all means, be working with the government in place to make sure that you have a very profitable road, leaving Broadville, going through Popolu, and going through Konesu, maybe traveling up to Godu and coming out from the Bani belt there in Lopogasa area, climbing up to Vahon, coming out of Lofa. Because when you do that, then Liberia can never get short of food. I saw peanuts in Bella Yala. I saw peanuts in Bella Baloma. That it was just overwhelming. But those people don't have any roads, so the peanuts stay right with them and spoil. I saw banana and pineapples that stay on the farm and get rotten because people have to work with them 8 hours to climb the mountain to carry the Bella Yala from Fasaba. So when the previous finance minister, who had some of the most power in the country to decide where development goes, does not develop the place at the time, leaves financial power, then he come back try to seek legislative power to bring development, I think it's a joke. I just want to think it's a joke. But again, you should be asking the finance minister on how does he think he could do things differently now that he's not going to have power anymore. He's going to have a collective consultative power as a legislature member, to be able to bring any development of Bapolu. He needs to tell us how he's going to be able to bring those development that he did not bring over the last 9 years when he was sitting as one of the key people to bring development of Bapolu. He needs to be telling us how he's planning to bring those development now as a senator. So that question not for me. You should be inviting this gentleman to your podium to tell us the Bapolu people, because if I will ask questions that day when he comes to the podium, he's wanting to be my senator. I think he has all rights and responsibility to me, like I also do to him. So anytime, this gentleman is my friend. He texts me. Sometimes I text him. So we'll ask each other questions. And he said, when I come back to Liberia, we need to sit down and ask each other the hard questions. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that for all of the other aspirants to ask each other questions so that we serve the people of Bapolu in our interest of Bapolu, not in personal interest.
Well, Paul, why couldn't you criticize the current senator? You didn't criticize the current senator. Why you criticize the American Congress?
I'm not sure I can hear you, but let me.
I said, why you, when it comes to the current senator, you are a little mute, but when it comes to Americana, you can only see what Americana have not done. But what
I think I lost connection.
The current senator who is taking $30,000 and all of that, you're not criticizing him.
Thank you, Paul. You need to catch your flight. If you can't get that to Peabody, let's move on.
Yeah, John, I can't hear you all.
Thank you very much, Paul.
I can't hear you. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Sort of.
We'll organize what he did for them. But I'll tell you this, guys. It will be a tough election. That's that Bapolu seat. You got a female, Fatima. I know Fatima well. She's another, when it comes to this, one of the CDC pioneers too. But she's running. I think she's running on a different party now. She left CDC. You got Mohammed Dukle, and you got Amara Kona and Paul Kennedy. It'll be a tough election. I can see it won't be an easy walk. No matter who endorse who. I don't think most of the time endorsement in our politics really doesn't matter though, because it's all about the relationship with the people on the ground. And with Paul in the health area, and I think since the election, he's been involved in that county. Being frequent in that county, and then I saw Amara Kona. I think he spent the holidays in Bapolu, and he's spending more time there now, which is good. But we're gonna see it. We're gonna see what happens. But before we go to the next topic,
let me let's try to bring in Mohammed Dukle. Let them bring him on. Let us just hear him out.
I'll invite Dukle.
You can invite him. Let him invite all of them. Then maybe Ben will invite his brother Amara Kona. About all of them, because it is important for us to.
No, you will not throw your slide. You will not throw your slide. You will not throw your slide cheek. Then say, "Let me finish," because I know
you. I was speaking back.
Yeah, no, but I will interrupt you because you won't throw that slide cheek and let it slide and then leave out there. Instead, I know you. First of all, Amara can defend himself. Secondly, my point to you is, you ask him, Paul Kennedy, why the man won't be senator. Let's bring Amara here. Let's face him. You ask him the question. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But don't try to make it look like old about brother.
Better. But bring him.
Yeah, okay, he will come. I will
it is important for us to know. These guys didn't think that Liberia is a joke. But they will go and do what they want to do and come and say, "My hand up, make me your representative." For what? Why? Why should the people vote for you? But Mr. Moderator, moderate your show.
Yeah, guys, you got me. You heard from one of the candidates in the race, and I can say it will be. I love for the race to be competitive, so that people will fight for every vote, so that you won't take it for granted. Yeah. Because when you just get elected just freely, just walk and get elected, you take it for a joke. And I pray that all the other counties, the 14 counties too, the rest of the 14 counties should be competitive, and even for the House of Representatives, I pray that every seat should be contested. People should go for these seats and really try to.
If I just would add, they say even Akaris Gray is in trouble. They got sedition running against Akaris Gray, and we should be discussing that.
Primary. So he's probably primary.
Whether they're going to primary him or not, but they will run against him
in the
general election because they feel that he have not done enough for the people of District Number 8. and it's time to check them. We are entering the new year. It's time to check them.
But you know something, Stanton, and you're right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of these candidates do not have 2023 is going to be a different election. It's not going to be an election where you can depend on your political godfather, because guess what? The political godfathers are fighting for their lives. President Weah is not going to be worried about Amara, about Wahini, about Akaros, about all these people. President Weah is going to be worried about getting re-elected, because same thing with JMB, same thing with Cummings. All these people are going to be concerned about their election. Yeah, they will say they're supporting candidates here and there, but they will be going out there for themselves. Because let me tell you the truth about that. I mean, the mindset around that is holding all things constant, right? Whoever becomes president of Liberia believes they can work with whatever legislature that is giving to them. That is just a fact, right? The current legislature doesn't have a majority of CDC representatives or senators, but President Weah are getting where he wants to get. So I think that's the mindset moving in. So you are absolutely correct. I think a lot of the candidates, the incumbents are in trouble, because if you look at history, people literally do a sweep when they go to these general elections and bring in a whole bunch of new people. So I just wanted to buttress the point that you highlighted.
The current legislature, right now, as it stands, under President Bwaka or President Gonglo or President Cummings, they won't gel. They won't gel.
What do you mean they won't gel?
Because looking at their agenda, what I'm hearing them say, what they have been saying over time, they put most of the blame on the first branch of government. Most of the problems the country is facing.
But Tommy, not just because they're campaigning. Anybody who becomes president will work with whatever legislature they have.
No, but it depends. You think if you send a budget, to the legislature and tell them that, look, I want to put more money in health, instead of giving the legislature, giving somebody 30,000 or giving somebody all that money, a lot of money, and they know the money is just going to be the person who's in the office will have authority over that money.
But you making my point. That's the point I'm making. My point is the president's agenda.
Energy president, we are saying that it passed.
But that's what's eventually going to happen. The president's agenda always take precedence.
Yeah, but agenda. Listen to these guys on the campaign show. They're saying that they won't.
You mean the candidates? You mean the presidentials?
They're saying that they won't allow drive $80,000 cars on minister.
Please, Tommy.
Oh no.
Let me stand on. Maybe he won't come in. Listen, I don't buy into that. Let me tell you why I don't buy into that. The culture of inducement of the national legislature started under the Unity Party. Let's be fair.
I agree.
Taylor legislature, people were making, I think, $1,000, $500 when you think about it. The new dispensation of our country politics, the culture of inducement, the culture of whether you want to call it poke barrel or whether you want to call it brown envelope, started with the Unity Party. This notion that, when somebody come into, they're not going to, first of all, they will sit and they will meet and they will make sure they will go ahead and make their different arrangements.
So not coming, but I don't see our President Gonglo or President Bwaka or President Cummings and trying to strike D to induce these guys there. I don't see it happening. But anyway,
you got
it depends.
That's what I'm telling Dominic. I don't agree with you. I totally disagree.
Dominic,
why we have because of the sorry, Dr. Peabody, go ahead.
Why we have a minority who is the president pro tem of the Senate when you have a majority opposition? So this thing will happen, But I just want to say
it will happen. Right now there are candidates, Stanton. There are presidential candidates who are funding and supporting multiple candidates for the legislature. Why do you think they're doing that? They're doing that because they want to have absolute control. There are candidates right now who are reaching out to different people across the aisle. There are people in CDC people from ANC reaching out to, because they're looking at it from that angle. This notion that, or President Bwaka or President Cummings or President Gonglo will come and, they will not cut deals with the legislature. That's not true. That's not true.
Well, let me say this, Chairman Ben. I think to some point, I would agree with Sentumani, to some extent. Probably it would not be like this, like what we have now. Probably. It won't be like what we have now. Right now, just anything can fly.
But that's how it's always been.
But Chairman, right now, if you want to bottle the water and the executive put that in, it will go through. If the bottle of the water costs 50 cents and the executive said at $500, it will go through. I don't think it will be like that when you talk about the president, Jose Yima Boakai, or President Teron Gonglo, or President Alexander Cummings. I don't think it will be like that. Now that those folks that will be elected, they will try, but it takes a president to put his foot down or put her foot down. Ben, you say it have happened before from Chasteda, Madame Salif, coming all the way. We agree. But the faces and the tension and what we know today, I would disagree with you. I think to some extent it won't work like it is working now.
So let me give you a small rebuttal, and let me tell you why I believe that it will work. It will happen. And this is me being a pessimist when it comes to the national legislature. And let me tell you why. Any new president that comes into office, right? The first thing they're going to do, first of all, the national legislature wields a lot of power. They just utilize the power for their benefit. That's what they do. They will now want to be seen as trying to rock the boat. They will preach the language. They will say the things that they're saying right now. What did Madame Salif didn't say? But you saw Ellen Salif King and said, I didn't give it to them. They took it. That's what she said. She said they took it. Literally, when you speak to people from the early years, there are some people who are running today, who are running for legislature, for all these other positions today. They will tell you, generally, there is always a compromise. That's what I'm saying. Now, what I do believe, though, if we does get reelected, let me tell you what I think may end up happening. What may end up happening is, if we gets reelected, there may be a revolt because 2029 is coming. 2029 is coming in a sense. Most of the people who intend to run for president coming from the national legislature. If you have a President Cummings or President Boakai or President Gonglo, they believe the national legislature will sing to their tune. They will give them what they want because they will believe that those people will be going up for re-election in 2029.
But Ben, though, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Because if you say we are getting re-elected, then if most of the people get re-elected, some of them would have been retired. They will be retiring now. They will have served about 16 years, 12 years, so they won't care.
But there's no cap.
I agree, but some of them, most of them will tell you they'll retire because they will have served that length of time. And a president in a second term, come on, you know the president had a lot of latitude. A second term president, he's not seeing re-election, so he was. And
that what makes the president at that point a lame duck.
But that's why. For example, President Salih took over 2006.
Yeah,
she did her best in her first term. That got re-elected. President Salih problem started her second term. That when corruption became it became massive because during her second term, that when she had to take all the blame for her officials who were corrupt. So now, and if the two having problem right now with the administration on the issue of corruption, tell me a second term, and I disagree. And just to end to the legislature, if the guys are running, if you tell me that Boakai comments, they won't come as I hear them saying, would they allow the first 5 elected officials in the country to have the budget of $50 million and the 5 health institutions get only $10 million? You see disparity? I don't see it happening on President Cummings or President Gonglo or President Boakai. I don't see it. But your thoughts?
My thing is at the end of the day, just to wrap on this thing, I do agree with you, Pat Blades and Termini. I don't think it will happen. It is happening today. It is just happening in broad daylight. I don't think under the President Cummings or President Boakai, you will find these things, especially under President Cummings.
What do you think?
Especially under President Cummings.
I want you to elaborate more on it. What do you think would be his? I want you to paint a picture of what do you think President Cummings will be able to do to discourage that?
So let's thank you, President Cummings.
Yeah,
I think looking at the history of UP, JMB, I would agree with you, Ben. But looking at the President Cummings, ANC, I think he will fight them.
Okay.
I
So you
think
think
he
he
will
would be
fight that.
willing to go brass
I
knuckles with
think
it?
yes. I think he's, for this reason, they have elected me. For this reason, the people put me here to fight the system. I'm good at fighting the system. I think on this one, I will give it to Cummings. President Cummings will fight those corrupt lawmakers. Now, you may ask a good question. Why he's not fighting those in his party right now, letting it 10? Why he agreeing? Why he's silent? But I would say this to you. I think that should be the position Mr. Cummings should take. When he's in office as president of the republic, you have a lot of power. A lot of power. The legislature have their own independent power, we do agree, but your influence as president, calling the shot, I think I can 100%, I will come to the place in my life today to say, I will agree that President Cummings will fight the lawmakers. He will take them to book. He will fight the judges. He will fight them constitutionally. And I think he will win because the people that elected him will be on his side and they will support his idea of fighting them. Can that happen? Can George Manawia turn this thing around in the next term of George Manawia? No, I'm not saying it. Me, I cannot say President Weah can transform the lawmakers, can transform the judiciary system, except he start to do it now. These are different branches, we understand. But Ben, you know that they have influences though. President holds the power. He get a wiggle room. He can negotiate. Can JMB do it? Well, JMB said I was only the vice president. But you're president of the Senate. So that I'm in a place about JMB.
Yeah.
I can give him the benefit of the doubt. But when you compare JMB, George Manawia, and Mr. Cummings fighting the Senate, fighting the lawmakers, fighting them, I think I would give that to Mr. Cummings. Honestly, I think he will be able to fight it.
And I think I can understand where you're coming from with that, because you're saying Cummings is coming from a position of an outsider coming in, right? But the reason I have a if about it is, again, like I say, I'm going back to the Ellen years. I see Cummings coming in almost similar to when Ellen was coming in, like when President Sirleaf took over. She had that. You remember they had this notion about Ellen being having the bullshit stamp. You know, when she was Minister of Finance. You remember Tommy Lee? All of that hype about Ellen having the bullshit stamp. She would go in there. She would do that. But Ellen herself admitted that when she got in there, the system practically swallow her up. And there are different components. And I'm getting a bunch of text messages. Look, at the end of the day, let me say this. The fundamental changes that needs to happen in Liberia, and especially with that national legislature, you will have a very, very aggressive national legislature, no matter whoever the president of Liberia is. Taking into consideration the experiences of this arrangement, where they have done away with county development fund, right? The present government has done away with county development fund. That's gonna. I've spoken to people who are current legislators. There are people who are aspiring to go in the legislature and say that foolishness. Quote. This is a quote from somebody who I know that is very influential. That more than likely may go into the legislature. So that's not going to happen. We're not going to sit and that will happen anymore, because the fear is that whoever becomes president, whether we are, whether Cummings or whether Boyka, they will want to continue as far as this issue of controlling and the narrative as far as development is concerned. Do you remember, Tommy, something? Remember when Alice Tyler then proposed the $1 million per district, the $73 million under the early administration, and it received a lot of pushback from the public, and also Ellen used it to her advantage. The thing I'm trying to say here is, it's not that I'm saying that Cummings will not have the spine to fight. What I'm saying is he is going to be measured in the distance that he may want to reach to antagonize a national legislature coming into office as a brand new president.
Well, let me say that before. Let me start begging that to people. Let me just hit on Ben on this one for a minute. The main reason why this election will be so important in our lifetime. Anyone winning this 2023 election We have extraordinary power. Excuse me. Extraordinary power. Anyone. I'm going to say this. The world is watching Liberia. Young men and women watching Liberia. Everybody are glued to the radio, the TV, the social media outlets. If anyone wins this election with everything people are talking about, they will have reason to go against other branches of government and make the case. And when you are making the case, and the Liberian people that voted for you on your side, you will win. People say, well, they will impeach him. If you do that, no. You can fight a constitutional battle and win without impeachment. This thing must stop. Everything that goes through the legislature, they receive money, they receive money, they pass it. Anything from an executive, they pass it. People that call themselves opposition lawmakers in line with the government, passing all your programs. So who going to come and say what? So if you have a new lawmakers with a new president, he will make the case. But if George Manuel wins again, Chairman Ben, Peabody, Sister George, now he would either double down or he will protect his legacy and do the right thing by turning things around. So everybody will possess that extraordinary power. They don't know that.
Yeah, well,
the lawmakers know that.
Yeah, let people come. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I tend to agree with you, especially when it comes to that aspect. But we can only say from the surface until those folk get in and then see what they want.
That's my point.
We saw Batik Kane, we saw Bochas, we saw
Boto Kane,
others who were very robust.
But we're talking about the president, though. We're not talking about.
I know that. I know, but they came because if the senator come in, they can change. There's not a whole lot the president can do. He wants the agenda to be accomplished. You will have to find some ground to work with them so that his stuff can go through. So the thing is, I believe Cummings, Baca will be tough. I believe they can get on the senator and stuff like that. But I mean, look, man, the power of the brown envelope goes a long way. Yeah, and some of these guys will have
can the president expose the brown envelope?
So I want to see how the president does that. I want to see how the president does that. I want to see. Tony, I beg you, 30 seconds. You the moderator. 1 second. You will take your reins. I want to see, and you know, I'm getting a lot of texts from some of my folks, some of my friends. They say, "Oh, you're not supposed to say." No, let's say this. I want to see how a new president comes in. And
John, we are not new president, even a re-elected president.
Okay, no. Let's keep it to a new president, right? Let's keep it to somebody who. Let's keep it to George Weah. Don't get re-elected. Let's talk about both Cummings and Buckeye. At some point, one of them come in, right?
And Gonglo, don't forget Gonglo.
And Gonglo and Nat Barnes and whoever else that may be running soon, or President Witherspoon at some point, maybe. Let me stop before you coming off. Why you on the screen? No, but let me say this. I just wanted to interject something quick. But let me say this. 9 times out of 10, speaking from history, right, Dominic, and I share your optimism. But I'm telling you, this is the 54th legislature? The 54th, right?
Yeah.
Dominic, that 55th legislature, let me tell you why that 55th legislature is going to be extremely aggressive. 2029. Whether we are re-elected or not, you got people in that legislature who will either be challenging a sitting president or will be entering a presidential election or a presidential primary, right? Primary process where they will be trying to find a footing if Weah is re-elected or if he's not re-elected. My thing here is, my bet is placed on the fact that any new president coming will try to see if they can rattle the system, but I don't think they will go to the extent for the system to become disruptive, because there is a way the system can become disruptive and the agenda can get lost. That is the argument I'm making.
Okay, let me say something, right? Right now, I'm happy that the
Then
process.
why you ran away?
The process in the
I'm
Senate.
gonna get my charger.
The
Oh,
process
God, now
I'm happy that legislative business is going to open now. So the social media, everybody active now. Technology is advancing now. What will happen? I don't see a Cummings or Boyka going to tell the legislature say, I want to put more money in agriculture and the health sector. I want for you guys to cut down on the presidential ministry. I will not take $20 million as Minister of Presidential Affairs. Cummings, Anthony will tell the boss I want $20 million for presidential affairs.
But I'm not disputing that though.
And he will tell and say we need to cut on unnecessary spend. Like for instance, why would cabinet minister get a $80,000 car? Cummings be talking about it. Boyka talk about it. Don't talk about it.
No, Tommy. You know what Boyka said about expensive car? Boyka said, you know what Boyka said about expensive car, Tommy? He said the roads are bad.
No, Boyka,
he said the roads are bad.
You buying one luxury SUV to be riding in the city just for $80,000 taxpayer money? No. But let me say this though. And now you won't see these guys I'm talking about go to go and try to remove a sittings of Supreme Court justice to go see how we influence their removal. Another one, you won't see them going to say, you gotta go in executive session to pass a bill. No, you won't see that happening because Ben, I don't see it happening because
Tommy, I'm sorry, but let me interrupt you 1 second, Big. I am not saying you're making to a certain extent you are still making my point. I am saying the president will get his agenda done.
Yes.
I'm not disputing that. Okay. I am not saying President Alexander Cummings will not cut the budget of the Ministry of State. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is President Cummings going to be combative with the national legislature? I don't think so. What I believe, if it will be a give and take, okay, you want this? We gave you this. We got to take this. It's not going to be, he's going to go there and they will roll over. That's my point.
We are not saying President Cummings will be combative. We are not saying President Boyka will be combative. They have the bullet pocket. This thing can be done easily. Expose them to the Liberian people. Some of those guys then, hold on now, Chairman. Some of those guys then, okay, Ben, Chairman, hold on now, hold on. Mm-hmm. Some of the guys then, they will be running in the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Some of the guys then, they will be fighting for survival to fight for the re-election. Expose them. If you have an honest leader that will write down and go after lawmakers, not to do I got you, but to work with the lawmakers who honestly and say, listen, the Liberian people deserve better. We cannot continue on this track. If it comes to my desk, I will veto it. If it comes to my desk and it's not about the Liberian people, I will guarantee you guys, you can take it back and let's fight this constitutional fight. Yeah. Now, if Chairman Ben Senvi, Senator from Musarado County, say it's the must that will pass this, I will go ask his people in Musarado County. Chairman Ben Senvi agree. He think there's a good bit. I disagree. Y'all decide. Listen, this thing should happen. Enough is enough, Chairman. So you get the power to take that lawmakers to the Liberian people and let the Liberian people decide. And let them listen. This secret court society, we are in this together, creating problem and stealing.
You got
you see, I agree. You see, this is what I'm saying here. This is what we all want to see happen. He's saying that for President Cummings or President Boyka will expose the legislature to the Liberian.
I said either or President Weah to please add
or President Weah, right? You're saying that they will expose they will go and expose the lawmaker. That's what I mean by saying. You saw what happened when Ellen said, I didn't give it to them, they took it. They took it as an attack on them. All I'm saying, I am waiting to see, and I see everybody, oh yeah, you are part of the dysfunctional system. We are part of the dysfunctional system. Liberia is dysfunctional as it is.
But that's why the guys are running on change. Instead of on change the system.
Tommy, they think, maybe you got too much. Again, I repeat.
But you don't believe in the church message, man.
And I was
you don't believe in the church message. Why are you brushing off Tommy?
We're
I
not
believe
brushing him
that.
off. All I'm
I
saying here is,
all the
and
time.
maybe I'm a little pessimistic, because again, like I said, I've seen this movie.
Be optimistic, man.
No, and let me say this, Let me state this for the record. There is a reality, right? And then there is what we all want to see happen. In the end, I do believe that a strong president, a strong-willed president, will be able to effect the changes that we need to see in the country. But it will have to come in small doses. Because let me tell you, what our president will have to, and maybe this is not what people may want to hear right now, but this is the reality, that what our president may have to deal with, if the legislature decides that they will get dysfunctional and disruptive, the president agenda stalls. That is what I'm trying to say.
I would disagree with you. My reason of disagreeing with Chairman Ben Santomane, you still have some good lawmakers.
Exactly.
You still have people that will be willing. Right? I can say this. Maybe you say something. I shouldn't call name. But some good senators, right, that will be willing to work on behalf of the Liberian people, to work for the Liberian people, to do this thing that the Liberian people would benefit. Trust me, Ben. The lawmakers, the senators, 30 of them, not all 30 will agree with you though, but get 5 and take that 5 to the Liberian people. And people will change. People will change. If I go in your county and expose you and your behavior, the next round coming, you will adjust.
And you think the president will be willing to do that?
But Ben,
listen,
that's your hope.
Listen, Chairman, there are 15 lawmakers that will be running for election again 2026. You can deal with that 15 lawmakers. You can make them understand that they are not working on behalf of the Liberian people in their interest.
But stand down.
Ben, it can work.
We saw it with this guy example, right? We saw it with Zolizo. The person wanted Zolizo in the position. But so the Liberian people, rather with the person, the senators, and said, look, we want this guy.
Okay, so why haven't we seen it with all the other
from the airport? We saw what happened. And Ben, I'm sorry, because the way social media is so active, it wasn't active on a person like this. We are here fortunate to be the guy who the social media they advance so much that everything is on social media. You've seen it. Everything is on social media. And that's why he been scrutinized so much. But personally, he wasn't treated like how they treating him right now.
I want to say we will come back and have this conversation, but I'm not sure if we will be in the position after the election. I want to say we will come back and have a conversation, but listen, I share your optimism. Let me end on that note. I share your optimism.
All right, okay. All right. Final correction. Maybe somebody said I'm making a mistake. No election in 2026. 2029 election.
I think President Salih had an integrity institution in place that was, even though they were being scrutinized, but she put the integrity institution. What's going to happen here is, again, I would start to agree with you guys that if we have a leader who will really put their foot down in trying to cut corruption and really engaging these representatives and making them, the member of the legislature, making them feel that, hey, we're not going to work on this. In fact, we're not even going to put this money. Put a stop to the Brian Infilo package. Say, look, if y'all can't do it for the people, make the country aware that this is our plan, and you have people who are starting my plan because they want this. I think. Let
me ask you a question. I have one quick question. First of all, is there anything that has been confirmed by anybody within the corridors of power called Brian Envelope? Is there anything? Has anybody confirmed that has ever happened before in Liberia?
Private, they tell you, man. Ben,
but I'm not saying that. I'm not talking private talk, Tommy. You're saying the president will get up and the president will go to the people and say, Senator X asked me for money. And y'all say the president will go and say, President X.
President leave, Ben. The president leave. You say the bank, you say the president will make fun tomorrow. Everybody will be fun.
That's why I said maybe there's a small disconnect in what I'm saying here.
You always say that's true. You said that.
You're not getting what I'm saying. I agree the president will have his way. I agree the president's agenda will fly. What I'm saying is this notion that you think, if a particular group of senators say, Mr. President, we got to cut this deal. This is what we want, right? And the president said, no, I can't give it to y'all, right? It means the president will go in the constituency and say, Senator X came and asked me for this deal. Is that what you're saying here?
Ben,
No.
Ben,
But
you know exactly
you
what
say
we're
that
saying.
about Ben.
Okay.
Ben, for instance, no, but
Negotiation.
Ben, you know
Negotiation.
exactly,
This
you
is
know
all.
exactly what we're
This is
saying.
all
because
us.
my
Yeah.
point is not this. I mean, first of all, if you say on the president leadership of the legislature, I got problem with it. Yeah.
But what guarantee you got that the new one are coming with doing?
That's
The
why-
new legislature.
That's why.
You know the mistake we make? Let me tell you the mistake we make all the time.
But let's move to the next
We are
conversation, Ben.
replacing- I come in on this note. The people we are replacing these people with, forget the presidency, the national legislature. The people we are replacing these people with are the same people of this current environment. The only difference is that these ones are there and they have exposed themselves, and the people tired and they say, you know what, we're going to bring a whole new one. So let me ask you a question. Somebody like Solomon George, you replace Solomon George, or you replace somebody from Bokon Jide. Where is that next representative coming from? Is that person coming from heaven? That person is coming from the same environment. What I'm saying is there has to be a collective systemic approach to reform. In that, and where I agree with you, is that the president will drive the agenda. If that president, the only disagreement that I am having here is that I don't believe that that president will immediately want to come and start ruffling feathers. He may attempt to work to see how they can find some kind of compromise because he may not want his agenda stalled. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the president will not get what he want. I'm not saying your new president will not want to reduce the budget. That's not what I'm saying. That's what.
If I listen to
what I think what you're saying, I think what you're saying.
You can say that they get a problem. You say, oh,
but then you speaking.
The president is not for the president. The president can make it. So look, I will lead this way, and I want this to happen. But not
people who you replacing.
Let me ask you a question, Ben. Let me ask you a question. You've been saying this thing over and over and over again because they are the same Liberian that coming there, so we shouldn't replace the ones that are there.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Because they are the same Liberian. Because you always say this. There are no different people coming. They're the same people.
So let me say this.
So if you get to another group of people coming, try them.
Oh, but
you already know this. You already know these guys.
But that's not my argument. You see.
So what's your argument? That's you're leaning towards it. They are not different.
Stanton. What I'm saying here is the problem with Liberia. It's not a switch. It's a fundamental societal problem. First of all, the legislature has been made to appear like it's a milking ground. Half of the people, I don't say all of them, because I would not do that to people. There are some good people who are running for the legislature. But a majority of people who are running for the legislature are running because they see it as a place where they can go and do the same thing that the other people are doing. That is the argument that I'm making. How do we fix that? I don't disagree. Let us figure out a way how to fix that and try to find a way for a systemic reform approach to our problems in our country. And I do agree with you on the notion that has a lot to do with who sits in the executive mansion. Because the person that sits in the executive mansion, in all actual sense and nooks and crannies, sets the tone for how the country agenda is going to be to progress. But I'm not arguing against change. I'm not. All I'm just saying is this is going to be our fourth election. I think our fourth election circle. We're making progress. I'm just saying that it may just be in little doses. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I think you guys saw the letter from ANC trying to wrap on the investigation. Are we done with the president, Buffalo Hospital issue? Are we done with all the political issue? Listen, Costa just texted me. He said he's on his way to Liberia. What you guys think about it? Let's talk about our national issue. But I think it's a good argument to make. This election would be a very, very serious one. The Liberian people will go back and look at the records. I was surprised when this person called me. He's a seditious. And he said he's running against Akaris Mosegre. He said even if Joe Weah called him, he will not step down. He will run against Akaris Mosegre. He sent me some pictures, had a long conversation, and he said what is happening in District Number 8 shouldn't happen. And he thinks he's the man to make the people of District Number 8 make their lives better. So, moderator, Sintomani George.
Wow, we meet as a teacher of the year. Good.
The what?
Spoon, meet as a teacher of the year. Of course, who cares?
Who's that?
Well,
Oh,
of the year.
That's a good thing. I mean, the fact
Good
is,
thing.
it's a good thing. There's nothing to be afraid. We deserve it.
We
did a
deserve it,
good
man.
job.
Come on, we deserve it.
We work very hard.
Very
What you
hard.
guys are talking
We may
about?
not be the most perfect group, but we
Meet
work
as a
hard.
teacher of the year.
You know.
You know that? Watch it. But anyway, look, I'm happy that the ANC,
What do you think?
the CPP came out with released that they had started an internal investigation, and that's the best thing to do. And they'll use their own internal mechanism to investigate and find out what happened to the money that was missing prior to the attire suffering rally. We look forward to hearing the outcome of that investigation, and we allow them to the investigation to take place. We give them the space, let them investigate, and hope the public will be informed of the outcome of the investigation.
But it's something, Sintomani George. Can we spend, please, maybe 5 minutes on this?
Okay, well,
Ben, what was your take on this money issue? Because you've been away, you've been running away. So when we see you, let's squeeze you. You from Liberty Party. You from Liberty Party.
Mm-hmm.
You have a collaboration with ANC, that part of Liberty Party, having a very important rally, 70,000 when. And, you know, when we said 70,000, our brother Musa Ability said, no, it's not 70,000. It was 50,000 and some money lying around. I don't know, that's some money lying around. We couldn't count them all. But as it says, 70,000 now, I mean, what's your own understanding? Talk to Liberians. Why would a 70,000 be flying and just disappear?
Well, I don't think, first of all, I don't think it was meant to be stolen. I think the issue here is I think we tend to sometimes lose. My argument is I think we tend to lose sight of the main issue here. The main issue here is that someone decided to take what didn't belong to them, and it's unfortunate. I don't think you can blame Mr. Cummings, or I don't think you can blame the CPP for somebody taking something that that doesn't belong to them. This is not strange to, and this is also another thing that I'm talking about. This is not strange to electioneering. In fact, during election period, that's when people think is the opportunity to take away from politicians. Probably in that young man who is being accused of stealing the money of mine, is that he getting his own, that he taking there. You know, in his mind, he's taking his own. Does it mean it's right? No. So on the issue of the investigation, I think they're going through the internal process to see what's going to end up happening. I don't know what the conclusion is going to be. I think at the end of the day, there's a simple issue here. The money is being accused that the driver, the one that took it, filed the report to the police and let the police do their job. You know, that's how I see it. But I definitely think it's not something that defines anything about Cummings or his leadership ability. I mean, I don't think Cummings woke up and told the guy to go steal the money, or Martin Kohler woke up and told the guy to go say. Now, will you say Martin was negligent? Will you say he was reckless in the way he probably handled the money? Yes, I think that's fair, because I don't know who leaves even $10,000 or $20,000 in a car, cash money in a car, and to do so. I think if there's anything that he's guilty of here, is the issue of being negligent and not.
You don't know yet. You don't know that what that would be the only issue, because they're investigating. But from you say if there's anything that he's guilty of,
you know what? No, what I'm saying is if there's anything right now, from what we know today, right? From what we know today, from face value, what we know today is that this money was taken away by what is his name? By this driver. And my thing is, I don't. Did somebody tell the driver to go and take it? I don't know. You know, so this is a problem. You know, I think I understand that Chairman Billiter was on this show during the Liberty Party campaign. There were tons of incidents like that. You know, I remember I was national chairman of the party. We sent somebody to go do workshop somewhere. The person didn't come. they towards the end of the election, a whole pickup got missing. The guy said he was carrying the pickup to go eat to one restaurant. He came by and told us that he came outside and the pickup was lost.
So let me. So, sir, I don't know if I'm allowed. Am I
But
allowed?
yeah, but on the issue of it, like I said, I'm happy that the CPP is launching an internal investigation. I would pray that they should make it public when the outcome of the investigation, and they should come up just how they came out released today. Should make it public. But your thoughts, Peabody, on this investigation, the launch an internal investigation?
Well, I've said what I will always say here. It is their money. It's their prerogative to investigate or not investigate, but they have their own internal investigation. That's fine. I mean, I don't think this. I mean, like other has said, you don't know. You can't read people's mind. You don't know who's going to get up someday and just steal. You know, some people think that they can keep money in car at the word protection. Nobody knows. You know, but again, we know that keeping the money in the car, people can go there all the time. I mean, it's runnable. We know that people can break into car and steal. But again, they have launched their own internal investigation. It is, you know, it's a good thing. I don't think really this should be politicized. I don't think it should, because that's their money. It got stolen. They're doing an investigation. If they want to make it public, fine. They don't want to make it public, that's their money. It's not. I think they owe it to the party, and they can deal with their political party.
So you want to wrap it up on this topic? You got anything to say to wrap it up?
Yeah.
On this topic?
Yeah. You know what? I think I will always disagree with my brother, the Reverend Pastor Peabody. To say that's the money, if they want to investigate, it's up to them. No. This is a national issue now. They have an organization, though maybe the money was provided by Ability or Mr. Cummins or whosoever, but they owe transparency to the Liberian people. They need to tell them, like they are doing right now, that they are investigating. And they need to, when they come to the conclusion of the investigation, they need to let the Liberian people know. There's a government in waiting. You cannot say, well, it happened in my house, I won't say anything to you guys. It shows how transparent you're going to be when you are elected. It shows how responsible you're going to be when you are elected. But you cannot brush it under the rug because you say, no. Peabody didn't contribute, so Peabody shouldn't know anything about this. That I would disagree with you. I do believe that the step. Honestly, let me talk now. Let me talk. I say I can disagree with you, Pastor Peabody. It's okay. You can do the same to me. But I'm just saying that it is important for the Liberian people to know exactly what's happening. The trail of the money. All right. When Musa Ability appeared on the show, who's the comptroller general in your organization that make the money available? We got a man named Musa Ability. So I'm not going to call his name. Who's your finance director? Oh, I'm not going to call his name. Something about the money is not right. And if Mr. Cummins let this thing to go under the rug, again, the opposition would beat on him. They would beat on him and say he's not transparent. But as much as you like Mountain Cola, you like your guys, they have to come to the bottom of it. They have to discuss it. And somebody should be responsible. And somebody should be penalized. Seriously. They should go after that person. If it's all down to one individual carelessness, that person should decide what is right to do. 70,000 is not small money, man. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think they owe it to the Liberian people, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they have come up publicly to issue a release that the investigation has started. So we'll give them the time and hear from them. And each time we remind them. I
appreciate the fact they did the right thing by putting out a statement today.
We'll hear from them. And
a statement that is signed by Musa Ability, by the way.
Yeah, he's the chairman of the CPP. So yeah.
I know. I just want to call Ben attention. A statement that is signed by Musa Ability.
Yeah, but listen,
No, but he's the chairman of the CPP. Why Louis Brown didn't sign it? He's the chairman for tag team comments. He's chairman for team comments. Because when the money went missing, Musa Berete, Louis Brown spoke. It wasn't Musa Berete. The money was given for the team comments folks to have the rally. So Louis Brown should come again and speak because he was out of place. And it seemed that when he was speaking, he was protecting somebody or something.
Let's go to the last topic for the day.
Yeah, let's go to the next topic because
I mean, Louis Brown is just
that's the beauty of you, the host, you know.
Yeah,
let's go to the last topic.
You can tell people to, to say
but guys, let me just remind you guys.
But why about the NPP something that in the chat room?
Oh, NPP.
The letter. It's in the chat room.
What happened to MPP?
Let's put your letter up.
Yeah, put a letter.
But on a side note, I think Louis Brown needs to explain to the Liberian people what happened, what become of that money.
No, the ruling coalition is having some fever there though. I know how to.
Yeah, this letter came in today. You know, they went to
coalition having some problem.
They went to Minister of Justice, December 27, actually, yesterday. Frank Musadin, dear Mr. Minister, the leadership of the National Patriotic Party person is, oh wow, this person you already know how to need it. Its compliments and wish to file a formal complaint against Maryland County Senator James P. Bennett, former chairman of the NPP, for statement he issued in the NPP chat room, which amount to threat to the security and life of the Vice President, Her Excellency, Madam Joa Howard Taylor, standard bearer of NPP. So we got a text message that was in the chat room. We got it. It's listen, guys, I think it's bad though. But let's listen. Mr. Minister, the NPP consider the statement as a serious national security concern, which must claim the attention of the Ministry of Justice and to investigate same so as to dive into the motives and intent of the maker of said statement. So let's just stop here. Jimmy is putting threat of the.
We're moving into the discussion, right? Tell you guys, okay. Now let me tell you guys, okay. First of all, with 9 months to the election, the ruling coalition having this kind of a problem developing, and James Barney, you know, is considered the embattled chairman of the NPP, and you know there's been a problem between him and the standard bearer, the Vice President Taylor, and the NPP. They've been having some issues just that, but it's coming to the public now. So I don't know. He issue a statement, and they are now complaining to the Justice Minister. And I don't know, but I will leave it for you guys who making analysis to give your perspective about it. What are you thinking is the trend they are taking is the right trend they are pursuing? What are you thinking they're going to cause problems for the coalition? The problem for them being part of the CDC LPDB coalition, because you think it may split the party and it will fracture the coalition. What are your thoughts on it? We'll start with this. We'll start to sense he brought up the issue up. We'll start with him first.
I think I know you want to keep the NPP chairman for last. No problem.
Let me go first. Because
I'll go first.
NPP chairman.
No, I'll go first. Let me say this to you.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Because you may be shocked to hear what I gotta say.
This will not go anywhere. Trust me.
That's exactly what I want to tell you.
I said this to you yesterday. And I'll say it again.
Oh my God.
NPP. When you got Jimmy, when you have Madam Joa Howard Taylor, you have Nathaniel Follow Maggie and the president. This is not going anywhere. NPP will remain with CDC. They will go up. They will come down. They will face the problem. And I told you again, no opposition members should use this as an opportunity, thinking that they can influence NPP. The Eric Styler, the Jimmy, the McGill, the president, the vice president, all of them in the same pocket. They will not go anywhere. These are all smoke screen, man. Let's move on.
So let me come in.
Let
me come in. And I will push further to what you said, Stanton. Listen, this is, first of all, it's tiring. The MPP need to get their act together. The vice president, the chairman of the party, they all need to figure out this thing and stop causing unnecessary distraction that don't need to be caused. Right, writing the minister of justice, all these things. I agree with you, Stanton. I don't think anything is going to come out of this. I firmly believe. I listened to Cyril Allen. He gave a press conference the other day, I think the year-end press conference. He said something that was very fascinating. He said you can't be in the 12th grade and then say you won't get demoted. The truth of the matter here is, what is the incentive for the MPP to break away from the CDC? What is the incentive? What is the incentive out there for them to do that? They are currently occupying the vice presidency of the country. Their internal issues, MPP has always had internal issues from Charles Taylor time. This is MPP MO. MPP always got internal issue because there's just a lot of hard-headed people in MPP. That is just the fact. No one person can control MPP, right? So I think in the end, they will solve this thing. They will figure it out. I think there is just a lot of tussle right now going on. Somebody saying this person threatening, that person threatening. At the end of the day, I think in regards to the coalition as it is, I think they will figure it out, because at the end of the day, they're not happy. I know that. I know everybody's not happy. But, you got to gauge your level of happiness, right? Will you leave one and say, okay, I will go get 0, or will you leave 0? So it's just, and I agree with you, Stanton. I think this is just another distraction. In 2017, before the elections in 2016, the MPP had a whole big fracas also when they were going through the primaries. When Nathaniel Barnes, Hananiah Zoe, and the current vice president were running through the primaries, there was a whole big fracas. It seemed like they were getting ready to split the party. But when the time came, they put their act together. They ended up forming a collaboration with the CDC, and they ended up winning. So I agree with you, Stanton, on this one. I'm not going to give it too much of an attention.
Okay, I will give my thought, but let me bring the people back on this anyway.
Yeah, what I would say, man, like Ola has said, they need to put the act together. Election is just a year away, and they can be in this kind of division, because from that letter, somebody's complaining just because somebody made a comment in the chat room. A threat, stuff like that. But I think they need to put the act together, because a Husky divided against itself cannot stand. So if you guys continue to behave like this, then it's not going to be a good thing. Then you guys cannot represent. You guys cannot form a full collaboration. If you guys are fighting among yourself, you ensuring that somebody must be arrested because a statement he made in the chat room. You could have asked him to clarify the statement he made about the vice president. Obviously, nobody should threaten the vice president, stuff like that. But I think they need to put the act together. It seems like people are confused and people don't know what they're doing. They're just arguing among themselves. And the longer they go, the bitterness will grow and grow, and it gets divided. So I think they need to put the act together. They will have a dialogue, meet, and everybody go there and just say the guts, and say, hey, this is it. We need to move on as a party. But this could divide the party for a long time. This could totally divide the party, and which is not good. Thank you.
Let me welcome former Deputy Minister Eugene Fagon. Welcome to this platform again. But just before I let him ask him to weigh in on this, the MPP chairman, James Banning, he was guest speaker at the LPDP, the other constituent political party convention, LPDP, and he said that President George Weah has been a one-sided government for the past 5 years. He also said that the LPDP and MPP, which are constituent members, have not been treated fairly in the coalition government. Okay, and he said that the CDC believed that MPP and LPDP had no part to play in the victory of 2017. Now, before I bring Fagon in, let me say this though. My understanding when I try to dig deeper into this, don't forget, regardless of him being in prison today, the former president still wields a lot of influence in the NPP. Okay, and I'm aware that recently there were some people attempt to go to him, and he refuses to see that delegation, whatever the case might be. So you should find out first whether he's in which side of this divide he's on right now, whether he's supporting the Bani faction or the vice president faction. We got to find out of that. So I won't just dismiss it and say that, oh, they're all into one thing, because he made an important comment there. He's accusing the president of marginalizing them in the first term. So based on all of these things, we got to understand where they're coming from. So we can't just dismiss it and say it, because politics, especially so, one of the tough things when you are seeking re-election and you're part of a coalition, these people at the first term, you had an agreement that we always share the jobs, we'll get position, and you renege on the promises that was made. Definitely, you're going to play hardball, and I think that's what they're trying to do, making demands and so forth. But again, we'll see how you play. But Fagon, can you just weigh in? You muted.
Thank you, and let me say good evening, gentlemen. It's great to be with you all. I am not against, I'm not an anti-feminist. I'm fully aware that you guys drove the ladies off the platform. I will stand for them, and I know they will be back.
Big God, what are you doing?
Having said that, I'm here.
Who later they drove from the platform?
Don't mind.
You keep on the show and say they get traveling. So Dr. Richardson is traveling. You can't insist you are after Salamatu and Salamatu mentor now to come back on the show. It was all because of you. You gotta apologize.
Very beautiful. She's
very
beautiful.
Man, Fagon,
why you let it? Why you getting into the topic? Why you gotta always come with some of that side?
Look, folks, on a serious note, it's great to be with you guys. Same thing I told Musa Belity. You will carry the paper, and Yombly will carry the partisans. He did not believe me. I'm going to say this. If you have followed the political landscape, and you've been around James Barney for as long as I, through my attachment to McGill, have operated with McGill and Barney, you will understand that yes, Madam Joa Howard-Taylor is the vice president, but the vast majority of the NPP follows Barney. And there's a reason for that. That's why I don't like sometimes when people say you just full of truth. The truth here is many folks in the NPP believes that when certain jobs were given for the NPP in the first 30 to 60 days of the establishment of the government, the current vice president favored close friends and relatives. That is their belief. I'm not saying this is an analysis from me. I have spoken to a lot of them. Then when they went on to name that Noel Howard, the sister of the vice president, is the deputy minister at health, Joseph Howard, LEC, they start to name all these people, the current health minister, her best friend, all these things. I could feel their hurt. I saw where they were coming from. So the majority of the NPP partisans believe that they were left out. And so it's like Barney is a de facto leader to the majority of the NPP partisans, while Madam Joa Howard-Taylor, remains the political leader. Now, you all know about the fight where she's not supposed to go again, even though she's in the coalition, but then they have to make the determination of a new political leader, given the yes. Barney was the chairman when you remember the fight went on between him and Joel having a new chairman. This letter clearly indicates that there is a recognition of the Jewel Howard Taylor chairman, as opposed to what was agreed upon when the coalition told them to respond to status quo ante. If you remember, the vice president's statement was, what was not legal is not legal at all. Therefore, the CDC cannot tell them to revert to status quo ante. Now, I'm going to say this. Take it from me or leave it. Jewel will hold the political leadership, and if she's not careful, Barney will move the party, because the vast majority of the partisans are bitter. They are hurt. If you remember, there's a guy that just passed away. We call him Mr. Howard. I think Tomani knows him very well.
George Howard, yeah.
He was one of the most powerful men, but he just passed away. Randall Cooper, as a result of that hula baloo, one of the most influential men in the NPP. Because of that noise, he was removed as chairman of the board of LPRC.
RIA, yeah.
Is it RIA?
LPRC? I don't know, somewhere.
Well, I don't RIA or so.
Yeah.
Well, LPRC.
LPRC, okay.
He walked down, but with hurt in his heart. Now, they have concluded that all of the slots allotted to the NPP were filled in by the vice president to her close confidants, friends, and relatives. I'm giving you people factual information from the NPP camp. Therefore, they look more to Barney as their leader than they look to the vice president. The vice president is the political leader, but because of that hurt. So the same thing I said to Billity, if Madam President is not careful, Madam Vice President, she will hold the political leadership like this, and Barney will sweep the whole NPP as he is popular. I don't see anything. You remember this, this thing. Musa Dean will not even look at it. In your chat room, it is clearly stated. They use the word politically. They use the word this, in parentheses. Response will require you and your advisor. And they went on to say, you have put everything you have politically on the line. Meaning they were referencing what it will cost her. Then you take your team from in your chat room, you say that threat to her. How is it a threat? You remove chairman. Is that a threat to him? You recognize a new chairman. Is that a threat to him, to the chairman? Then the chairman too look at you and say, it will cost you politically. Then you say they threaten your life. I just think that in closing, these are some of the petty mistakes that comes about in politics that are very, very costly. And if they don't take care, as you heard Tomali reading, I'm informing all of you on this platform. You got the Prince Johnson negotiation. You got the LPDP and NPP negotiation with President Weah. And you now have a new group referred to as the Western Bloc. That's Barney Sherman. That's Edwin Slow of Bomi. Barney Sherman of Cape Mount. Tyler of the LPDP. And Amara Kone of Bapolu. But the three guys, excluding Amara, have put themselves into a block. And if President Weah will take the Western side, that's the third negotiation he has on his hand. I respectfully submit.
You know, before I bring other guys in, you know, if I go, you made some salient points though. You know, the chairman laughing because he agree with what I say. But I will say this.
No. I agree with you. I listened to you.
Yeah. I will say this though. You know, as make an example. When the UP came, what they did, instead of saying coalition, they all came together and made one and formed one party. The Loop, LAP became UP. Now, there's a difference there. when you in a coalition and the first term, you see, this is why we give the CDC a hard time. If they have to keep the coalition together, you got to spend a lot of money because in 2017, they were all about dividing jobs. They had a governing council, and at the time it was James Barney and Madam Vice President. It was President Weah and McGill. It was Moses Colley and Tyler. They used to meet every Tuesday prior to the election because they said the governing council. But I was told as soon as the president-elect were announced, that governing council just went
dissolved.
Yeah. So, and then all the plans they made about you get this job, you get this position, and so forth, everything just went down the line. And people, like Fagon said, people also having mixed feeling that they weren't treated fairly and so forth. So the problem started. Now, forming a coalition, like you said, the CDC got a lot of work to do because they got to now negotiate with Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson step aside to allow Kuhn to come there to be the main negotiator. Then you got the LPP Tyler. Tyler was nominated for position. The people may know President Weah withdrew his nomination. So it's all now is about, and he ran for position, and he was whipped in bombing. So right now, the guys' political future, the careers at stake. Because they know that they're saying.
Don't just say he was whipped. Say he was whipped by the president's best friend.
Yeah, President Snow whipping. Yeah. So now the guys know that once CDC is re-elected, President Weah re-elected, they say, well, the first time the promise not to give away. Now, when they get re-elected, and they'll say, well, we need her again, but our last term, we really care. So this will make it will be difficult in negotiation. But
so I got
you guys can weigh in.
Ben, before you come, let me remind somebody.
No, I got a question for you.
Barney issued a statement, if you remember, I think it was in October or so, where he said the signature of the NPP to the document as of the night of, I think, October or so, ceased to exist. Meaning they had to renegotiate. I'll find that statement and send it to you.
So I want to ask you and Dominic, if I go and
that negotiation.
I just got one question for the two of you. One simple question. I hear all of what you're saying. I hear this is all the political theater that was happening right now. This is hardball that's being played. And I still stand by what I said. Couple of things. The question is, if MPP is going to leave the coalition, where are they going? That's the first question I got. Hey, wait, you will answer. Just don't rush. Just wait. If MPP will leave the coalition, where are they going? And two, I agree with everything that you said. Leading up to the point of where they are, I agree that the negotiations are going to be very tough. I believe that they're going to hold their ground on certain things. But does it mean that does tough negotiation means that it's not going to work? Does tough negotiation means that it's going to fail? Because in the end, if I was placing a bet, if I went into a casino and looking at the current dynamics right now, you will ask yourself the question, where is MPP's interest best served today? It may not be perfect. It may not be what they wanted. They may not have gotten all of what they said, or even 10% of what they said they wanted. But there is also something, and Fagon, you can speak to this. There's also something called political survivability, to survive politically. Where is the MPP best suited to cast their stone right now? With all of what you hear happening, yeah, the inking dry, yeah, the signature denied, all of those things. I agree, because as it stands right now, you're right, Fagon, there is technically no coalition for democratic change because they have not renegotiated any framework document. They're saying that they're doing it now, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? They're still printing T-shirts. They're still acting like they're in a coalition. They're sitting with the Prince Johnson People Party, all of the different things that are happening. That's why I keep asking the question. If I were to leapfrog into 2 weeks, 3 months, 1 month from now, where is MPP going to end up? Can you say MPP leave the coalition and comes to the opposition? If they are coming to the opposition, where in the opposition they're coming? Because this is a three-way election. It's a three-way election. That's just the fact.
Good question. So, Vagon, say you answer. I'll follow.
All right, Ben. Politics is interest. You call me in 2017, say I should join you. You will take care of me. 6 years passed. You did nothing for me. Then you call me back. You say, come again. I don't want to eat a crazy cow head. No. Now, I will definitely make demands. But you said, where will their interests be better served? If they stay with the coalition. But is the coalition willing to make amends? Are they willing to meet their demands or
True.
even halfway?
True. Which is a good point.
So what if the CDC does not meet their demands? Where will their interests be better served? I will tell you something.
Can they trust a new agreement?
Now, I come to now. And you did Zimbabwean team first. Now you're not bothered with Sierra Leone team. Sierra Leone team is money in a hand, back na ground.
So then, but you see, me and you saying the same thing, Eugene?
No, where now? You say, where is the interest better served? If the CDC does not collaborate and cooperate, let me tell you where the NPP interest will be better served. Least you forget, Edwin Snowden, all those boys are from the NPP camp before they went elsewhere. And NPP moving to Joseph Numa Boakai to say, we are coming. And Tyler says, you don't even worry about me. If you can deal with NPP, me, I know I finish. So I'm going. If NPP leaves, LPDP leaves, the presence of Amaracone in Bapolu, Snow and Barney Sherman, you do the math. I'm going to give you this. Go check it out. Maryland, Grand Crew, Sino, and River G. 4 counties. Put Bomi, Cape Mount, and Bapolu together. Their numbers exceeded the 4 counties. If they push to Lofa, and you know NPP means stronghold, is bomb. Put those 3 counties, put Lofa, put bomb. You will have to now pay Prince Johnson double.
So you're saying that NPP going to UP if they leave NPP, if they leave CDC? Is that what you're saying? Because the question I asked, where do you think they will end up if they? I don't believe they're leaving. I believe what is going to happen, they will make these demands like you said.
I don't believe they are leading.
Yeah, they will make these tough
question
demands.
Was, where will their interests be better served?
Be better served. That's the question I asked. Yeah.
Wherever they can go and win.
Of
and
course.
When it comes to that, if they take Bomi, Cape Mark, Bapolu, and the John Lofa to come down into NPP stronghold with Prince Moy, it's a dangerous trouble, not even small trouble.
Yeah, but
for the CDC.
Yeah, but you honor the perception that they're going. That's why I asked
we're giving you the alternative.
Yeah, a different alternative. I agree. What that's why I asked, and I agree with you. So your answer to my question is they more likely land with the Unity Party. That is
who will not land with Unity Party.
Okay, good. So the reason I bring that up is because, like I said, I will end on this note.
I don't think I agree with that last one.
Yeah, I will end on this note. I would say this.
Okay, they will go to Kumis.
I don't believe.
There are a lot of options there.
Yeah, but let me pretty quick.
I don't think. I really don't think that the NPP won't finish.
2 seconds. First of all, I don't believe the NPP is.
They will go with Kumis and Tiawon.
I think what's happening right now is high stakes politics. I think even the tussle between the vice president and Chairman Bani has to do with, and if I'm going, you do have a point on the issue of some of the internal ramblings within the party, how people may feel and how they may not feel. You do have a point there, but I will say this: in the end, I think there's high stakes politics going on right now. They're raising the stakes. They are negotiating from a position of strength because the CDC, the Congress, don't want to ruffle any feathers right now. It's not in the Congress interest to blow up the arrangement. So the Congress will do what the Congress will have to do.
Now you're talking.
Will it be in goofy? Well, that's the gamble they will have to take, because at that stage, the MPP, the lifeline of the MPP, it serves them better to stick where they are right now than to go do something totally different and don't find their way clear.
That is if they get a bid. If they don't get a bid,
So do you guys believe, okay, because don't forget now, in 2016, when the former president spoke from his prison, he influenced the MPP going towards the CDC. Do you guys still believe that he has influence over the MPP still?
Yes. I believe so. Yes.
Yes, he does.
So now, the question would be now, who do you think? I mean, where do you think right now he'll be leaning? Whether he's supporting the Biden side or the former vice or the vice president side? That's one of the questions you guys should be pondering over.
I can tell you which side he's supporting right now.
Who?
Who you think EJ? That Ma Ellen. Who you think opposed to Ma Ellen right now? That JMB. Got to read the politics, Tomali.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you.
And everybody knows and thinks that Ma Ellen is in bed with the CDC. And Taylor will take his revenge. Make no mistake.
Look, Germany, I can tell you.
Go ahead, everybody.
I can tell you if Taylor was to make a plea or to call on them, he will call them and tell them that they go with the vice president, Joe Howard Taylor. And he will tell them, look, y'all bring this to control, y'all discuss it and support Joe Howard Taylor. I believe that's what he's going to do.
Okay. So now we coming, right?
No. I got nothing to say about NPP though.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Okay, let me just.
I plead the favor the Taylor.
Let me throw this in. Right?
1 minute, please.
Go ahead.
Read the NPP correctly. John T. Richardson, Louis Brown, Siri Allen, Randall Cooper. You can go down the list. If you look within the CDC, which is the coalition, how many Daniel Chair, Toga Gateway, and what's in the coalition for the NPP? Besides Joel now. Besides Joel, give me something out of this coalition government for the NPP.
Okay. You asking a good question. So my thing is this though.
Very good.
When I asked the question about the former president role, and he said he still has influence. Now, the question will be, the last 5 years of this administration, have they treated his family, his relatives, his children, and everybody? Have they been treated fairly? Have they been benefiting from this arrangement?
I just understand. I'm not talking about.
Okay. Have they been, their question.
Keep asking your question.
Yeah. For me, my man, I own a ballot.
Okay.
Whether they are benefiting.
You will answer all your question. You will answer all your own question.
Whether they are benefiting from the arrangement. That's another question people should wonder to be thinking about. And now, these guys, don't forget now, because the way the first arrangement ended.
Thank you.
Guys can play any kind of dirty politics. Hello, for me, I didn't care. They say, look,
I got nothing to lose.
Yeah. So
for me.
They can take money.
I disagree with you.
They can take money and still put off.
See, that's why I disagree with both of you.
But
they do have a lot to lose.
But too many. Yeah, I said.
Yeah.
But they were saying I asked Ben, show me something NPP.
But I just told you I plead the fifth. I told you I plead the fifth. But I disagree with you that ain't got nothing to lose.
But too many.
Everything to lose.
Too many. The issue of trust now play a pivotal role, because you know what? These guys now will say, yeah, we agree. If we win this time, we'll give it to y'all. On the other hand, the other person said, man, ride the beak. I don't want to just look at my hand, ride the beak. Study. We're not giving them fusa and over. They can do nothing with us. We're not running a game. We're not going to get a fusa. You know?
So this is what makes it hard. And
you know, let me say this. I don't think it's hard, Dominic. Let me tell you what I think is happening here. I think you guys are, and I agree. I see where you guys, and I know Fagon, I can read everything he's doing. I can read through the lines on everything he's doing here. And he know why I'm pleading the fifth on certain things, right? look, in the end, and I just love the position Stanton in right now. It's so fascinating to see Stanton saying nothing. It's so fascinating to see someone sitting there in that corner and I say a word, you know.
Yeah, but the point is, I was talking. Somebody text me and said, "Stand on, don't be part of the
okay. That's what I said.
So I got my business. Let it put it up. Yeah.
But I will say this though. I will end on this note, and this is as far as I will go. I disagree with you, Fagon. They have everything to lose.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, their survival, their relevance moving forward, all of these things are on the line. The NPP, I believe, will make a strategic decision like they've always done. NPP, you gotta understand NPP's history. In 2011, NPP made a very strategic decision. People don't remember. NPP first collaboration with CDC. Yeah? Fagon, you remember? 2011. The Winston Tottenham and We Are Ticket. It was the NPP and the CDC that were together. What was the arrangement in that collaboration? We want president, we want vice president, check get all legislative seats. After 2011, NPP had the most senators in the Liberian Senate. That's where, because guess what they were doing? They were thinking ahead. That's what landed Jewel in the position that she found herself in 2017. Again, I will go as far as to say, they, in the end, all the argument and the fuss and the letter you see flying around, in the end, they will go, they will sit, they will make whatever decision they feel best serves them strategically.
I think you will speak well if you say the demands will be met.
Yeah, that's what I said now, strategically.
I speak to you right now.
Yeah.
I got serious information that James Barney is in the capital of the MPP, and the capital is Artington. Mm-hmm. Charlene, the Taylor's daughter, is also in Artington with a whole group of NPP stalwarts. My dear brother, and I joke, we joking here. If the demands are not met, I'm telling you, it will be a sorrowful game.
For Fagon.
By the way, what Fagon's just said, right? He's not lying. I received a message from the president on the I just found out. I know that the president, the former president, brother.
Yeah, he died at Dolphus.
In the text I received, it's indicated here, and now the president's daughter is expressing making a strong position here. That's what the man is saying. So it is true. You see
why you're doing right now is exactly what the MVP people were to do.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Exactly what MVP was.
Can I ask Fagon a question? Fagon, let me ask you a question. Since you have some information, ultimately, anyone of you guys can answer the question. But yes, these guys were close. The first round, they were giving this big promise. Oh, you get this, you get that. They closed them. Let me use the Liberian way. They closed them. Some of them, they can't even be seen now. What do you think they'll be demanding to already certify them? Because if they go next round, let me
tell you one example. That in our politics, and let me tell you why I say so. Because they could also go to another party. They could go to UP. UP could tell them everything. Let me tell you, no agreement supersedes the Constitution. No agreement. The Constitution gave the power, whoever becomes president, the power to make whatever decision as far as giving jobs. No paper. You can go notarize paper. You can go do anything.
That is same Constitution. That is same Constitution that gave the people the right to freedom of association.
That one I agree with you. I disagree.
Oh, no, wait now.
I disagree with you.
Right. So now, you know what that right takes them?
Nah, they say
MPP more than they need you now.
MPR that premiums in party, right? They say they're almost in line. So
leader team dominate. Let them make yourself. Yeah, man.
What do you think will be the compensation for them now?
Exactly.
What will close them now?
Yeah, the post say the
Brother,
first time you get a job,
Yeah?
you alcohol. Then
exactly what I heard they're asking for.
Put on there.
What are they asking for?
6
one
years.
Joe.
They had to sit down and watch other people live better than them. People that they were opposed to, people that they fought to win. Therefore, they come now with empty hands. They use their pickup trucks. They bought gasoline. They campaign. They use their resources, everything in the first round. What are they going to use now? Their pickup trucks are all gone. They have no money. Therefore, the finances will now come from the CDC.
All right.
They need it up front. You hear that word?
Oh, they need to buy up front.
Let me go ahead. Listen.
No, we'll get it. We'll get it up from Afro UP.
I'm playing now.
Guys, let me say
So
this.
UP gave it up from that.
Brother,
I'm playing
they
now.
want nothing.
Somebody, I think let's move on, man.
Okay.
Listen, the
That's a beautiful
MPP,
topic.
Let it go and say so here because
It's a beautiful topic.
yo, listen, Peabody, listen to this. MPP ain't going anywhere.
I think I let
The
low.
guys there,
Yeah, but
whether
allow
Prince
Trump.
Johnson, let me say my own. Prince Johnson from his party, James from his party, they're all going to sit down with President Weah, or whosoever President Weah will send to them. They are demanding to sit with the president. They will sit with the president. They will get this resolved, and you will have that bigger CDC. Period. The guys are not going anywhere. Let's just move on, man. They got them. They're trying to go. They're trying to go for the highest bidder.
No, because I know
Somebody said there's a meeting going on. I think
I know what's happening, so I would not agree.
No, what told me to leave it for me? Yeah,
Yo. And we everybody. My guys,
Tommy, lead that thing. Forget that cover.
No time.
All that time that you receive it. Now for you to right now. You raising the stake. Now what the on?
All the old MPFL generals, they assembled in Arlington today.
Like your
It
hometown.
was Roland Duo that calmed them down.
Like your hometown.
They're holding their press conference. Just wait for it. It's not a joke. Let me say this to you, Ben. Prince Johnson realized that if you put Maryland, Prince Johnson went and look at the data. He said in 2017, you put Maryland, Grand Crew, Sino, and Riverset together, 4 counties, they produced 126,000. You know what Prince Johnson said? The whole 4 counties get 126,000. That 3 districts in Nimba. They are saying now the whole Southeast get government. He said, President Weah will talk to me, or else the 3 districts will equal a 4 county. You see where the negotiation going?
But I'm part of the negotiation now. Ain't that what we all saying here?
But you're talking
negotiation.
But
When you go to negotiation, you won't go in a position of strength. Fagon, let me twist this more. Let you run now. Like you right now.
Of the liberal nationalist.
That's what I was gonna say. You the leader of the liberal wing of the CDC, right? The ones, all of y'all who dealing with it, it's disenchanted. Right now, when they call you to your negotiation, you are being for a position of strength.
No, I spell up front. UPFRONT up front.
And see, but that your negotiation, right?
Yeah.
That your law.
Let move on, man.
It means say when I meet too many problem too many say the people will not beat out the people negotiation term. You can say that.
I said they put demands are high. They put making high demands.
Demands high.
By God, we will tell the president. By God, they will give you 2 cars. They will give you 2 cars.
When they both call you, they will call you. They both call you.
All right, somebody. I think we
we exhausted our agenda for the day, and I think I can tell you guys, don't get ready. We'll be giving the grace for the government. The government.
That's Greggy.
No, it's the year in review because we got to discuss this. Today, like you guys saw, another group out there appreciate our work we do here on Spoon. You know, they recognize us. What's the picture, James?
GNN. GNN. Oh yeah, okay, that GNN.
And they come to say, media institution of the year. That's a good one. And we will be saying Best Minister of the Year, Minister of the Year, Director of the Year, Senator of the Year, Representative of the Year. We will be going through the list of different categories.
But
Fagon, what you doing, man? What you doing on the phone? Come on, you're on live television, brother. We're not hearing you. Thank God we're not
There
hearing
will
it.
be a press conference tomorrow.
Okay.
He's here. No, you know I enjoy it. No, you know what I enjoy is that though? Because I know the MVP people. You see what I'm going to do? That's exactly what they want.
There will be a press conference tomorrow
the
from where?
stakes are raising. Then guess what happened is then the other corner will start coming out from the other end. Oh, man, you'll get a press conference.
There will be a press conference tomorrow from where?
From Nepal.
Nepal.
That's correct. National Patriotic Association. I don't want it.
Wait, yeah, Federal Bay State.
Federal Bay. No, I know a Federal State.
He's had it before.
Yeah.
All right, but we go.
Speak to you, LPDP, Honor Alex Taylor, the collaborator of the regime, disbanded as Mose Wakoli. So they put him to the curb, and those boys then moving in for the negotiation. They don't want no compromise.
Who the chairman of MDR? Who the new chairman?
I mean, I even know the new chairman, but
let me tell you who the new chairman.
The new political leader.
The new chairman of MDR is the Post and Telecommunication Minister.
Okay.
That the new chairman of MDR.
Okay.
Yeah. That Prince Johnson, I say.
Cooper Cry.
That Cooper Cry, the new chairman of MDR.
Yeah.
He on the president cabinet. He the new chairman.
And guess what happened recently in the Southeast? Zoe Penno have brought the Southeast together. They said they have to negotiate.
But that the beauty of Fagon, you know, we political.
Let move ahead. Let move ahead.
That the beauty right now.
Listen, we will follow it. But guys, we gotta go. We gotta move ahead. Minister of the Year, Director of the Year, Senator of the Year, Representative of the Year, President or Vice President of the Year. Who's gonna take this one?
President or Vice President of the Year?
My man, but let me finish with what I'm saying, man. Somebody stay in the country, somebody stay out. Somebody stay in the country, somebody stay out.
Oh, no, you mean? Yeah,
somebody handle the rice crisis, the latest
somebody handle the census,
the gasoline crisis,
the census.
So we got to give the people the flower where they are like. But we want to say this seriously. Who the senator of the
political leader of the year?
Political leader of the year. We're going to on Friday. We're going to have this discussion. We're going to open the phone line very early. There must be a reason why you would be selecting or recommending senator of the year. What have they done? What have they achieved? Minister of the year. Somebody told me, say, but Stanton, will you okay, should I recommend Commerce Minister? I said, let's wait on Friday. All right. You can come, but just listen. It's very simple. We have Fagon and the entire team, and we have that discussion because it is important. We have to grade them. Amongst them all, somebody came up better. Somebody tried the best. It is not 100%, but at least they try. You know, they tried to do the job I wish they were called to do. So we're going to say that. We're going to say it. I know who the senator of the year. My recommendation would be. Probably there will be no one. Or probably there will be one. I don't know. But we'll wait till Friday. Actually,
the viewers, I want you guys to help me make that decision, right? For me.
Yeah, I think we should open.
I'll need you to help me.
I know exactly who mine is.
Yeah. Help me because right now where I'm sitting, I don't know.
People who the senator of the year.
Right now,
I'm not saying that. Not Friday.
People already know who your senator of the year, but you got to tell them.
No, people cannot say Sir Joseph.
Who other senator people are over for?
I just mess with, you know, but it's not Friday.
You already messing with me.
Everybody know that people are senator of the year. Forget that.
That's also my senator of the year.
Oh, we said Friday, man. We said Friday, please.
Friday, we're coming up. We're coming on the senator of the year, man. Everybody knows my senator.
Yeah, we got to do the representative of the year.
Representative of the year.
Yeah.
If we give it a Yaga will cut this station just so you know.
Why about Yaga calls it?
Yes, so you know.
Yaga can cause too much. Because of his cause, he cannot be senator of the year.
You got to deal with us. We're not
Yeah, that's
I'm surprised the viewers was selecting.
Well, we're gonna open the line. We're gonna
The people are selecting. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we gotta talk about political leader of the year. Actually,
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
a big
political
one.
Leader of the year. It will actually pay for
opposition
political leader of the year. No opposition.
It could be George. It could be.
I don't say opposition. Just a political leader of the year.
You can say opposition leader of the year.
But you only got one political leader. How you gonna talk?
Just make a political leader. Don't put opposition
political
there.
leader, brother.
Let President William be in the
President
contest.
William will be in the
He will be in the contest. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Friday will be a big time. We're gonna have the discussion on Friday. We're gonna have
that event. Oh, that big one.
Party chairman of the year.
Saturday is New Year Eve.
Saturday is New Year
Eve, right?
No, Saturday.
But listen, I said that New Year's Eve, right?
Huh?
What are you talking about? You at Eve?
New Year's Eve, right?
The day before the Eve.
So it's the eve of the
eve.
So it's the eve of the eve. Okay.
Eve of the eve. Okay.
And the eve of the eve.
Yeah. We will also look for representative that costs a lot of the year.
Representative do what?
That costs a lot. But that's a great show, guys. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah,
you know what I did? Come in. Next time, on one keep stay on quiet, let that bring the MVB and the tail conversation.
No, it's something about that thing I don't let you get into.
Let them bring it on.
No, I'm not afraid of them. Nobody.
No, stand up, receive one test message. I know what that test message came from.
No, somebody. Listen, somebody in there.
They say somebody said we are more for the.
We are more for it.
I mean, the mouth driver. They want to be all right.
But after we found out person of the year, from the beginning of the year, the first week we'll be grading the lawmakers, the ministers, and government officials. We'll be grading the president again. His job performance 2020. No, I don't know. Leave that here. Look.
We even start 40 years and my man just beat you.
Yo, I forget what the grading for last year.
No, man. Leave that here.
Yo, forget what other grades for last year.
No, they gave nothing. Listen. We'll be grading the. We will be grading President Weah, the Vice President Joel Howard Taylor,
Speaker,
the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Pro Tem, the first five.
Chief Justice.
No, we're not include the Chief Justice. She just got there. The first five. We'll be grading the first five.
Why you there? Even 3 days she worked.
But I understand, man. This Chief Justice thing, but let's talk about the people that are not running.
She got there.
Elected offices. Okay, she wasn't elected. We'll talk about the president, the vice president, the pro tem, the speaker, and deputy speaker. We have a lot of photos from the county. We'll talk about them and grade them, and we'll present them again as a New Year presentation to the Liberian people. Wow. That's what we'll do next week by God's grace. It's
people, man. Don't do that thing.
Well, we'll make the case. That's why Ben was in Maryland celebrating with Fulati Kofa.
I'll give you an A.
Ben was in Maryland celebrating with Fulati Kofa, but we'll make the case.
I'll give Fulati an A.
Don't start.
No. But Bob, your whole your grade now, please.
Yeah, we'll grade.
2 A's. I already got 2 A's.
Oh,
that's Fulati Kofa. 2 A's.
But y'all want to bring that show before? Yeah, y'all
bring the show.
You started, Ben. I was started stand up.
That started, yeah. You don't want to bring your grade.
I'll be very conservative with my grade.
No, we will. We will tell the Liberian people the truth because remember, we are going for election. We got to be fair to our fellow Liberians. We got to tell them the do's and don'ts. And, the pros and cons to this leadership. How much the officers have received and what they have delivered for their people. You cannot be receiving $1.2 million, $3 million, and your people living in mud houses. The children going to school and have nowhere to sit. We got to discuss this.
I think
You
we
know,
should
we
get.
gotta
I
discuss
think
the speakership and the vice speakership. We gotta tell the Liberian people exactly where we are. We gotta be truthful and take away
You ready
friendship.
now? You ready now?
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
let's
We
go. Yeah,
gotta
let's
take
go.
away
Cool.
friendship.
Yeah,
But
let's
then
go.
on
Yeah,
Friday,
man.
And
I say,
again, you
Chairman,
know,
We gotta be
you're
honest
closing
about
this
this
there. You're
NPP
closing. You're
thing. The
closing.
yeah.
NPP thing. We gotta be honest about it.
Don't
You're closing
mind.
comments.
You know when you start talking, and you know we gotta take friendship from there. We gotta do this. We're talking about all the parastatals,
NPP.
all the ministries, everything. We're talking about everything on Friday.
Yeah, everywhere.
Well, yeah,
Everywhere.
well, yeah.
Why you rubbing
Well,
your
yeah.
table? Why you rubbing your
Man, you're on national platform, you know that, right?
You better not end this show.
But let's end the show, man.
Not end this show.
You
Chairman,
better you care about your work
closing
problem.
comments there.
But let me close real quick,
Yeah,
guys.
let's close.
A beautiful program. Thank you. Like always, our sister is traveling. She won't be with us probably for a week or two. We wish her well. We want to say, as we move towards the new year, we are coming with new things. We are pleased to announce you will listen to us all over in Liberia. We have increased our
Equipment
transmitter
arrival.
system, and they're working on it. It will be better. You will listen to us. We'll make the case. You will enjoy your program. Your program will come. We'll make the case for the Liberian people. Our opinion matter. Trust me. I'll be surprised. A lot of folks call me today. Listen, you guys are the talk of the nation. They say everywhere we go, people watch this phone talk about the programs. I want to appreciate you guys. I was so happy that they're appreciating us. This election that is coming, I have no fish to fry but to tell you the truth, my fellow Liberians. I may know the players, the political leaders. The folks will get mad. It's okay. But we would just say the truth. And if I have the chance to drink tea with them, I will sit with them. I would drink my tea with them, but I would tell them the truth. That Liberia deserves better. They need to do a transformation. I will appreciate the president on the accomplishment today, the hospital, job well done. Like Paul Kennedy said, the maintenance of the hospital should be the key because when the donors leave, who's going to manage the hospital? The nurses, the doctor, they should be well taken care of. For anyone to leave Monrovia to go in Buffalo, trust me, housing and everything. So we want to say again, clap for this leadership. Good thing, good direction. The next place I'm hearing it will be Redemption Hospital. They will soon go and get Redemption Hospital ready. Say what you want to say. It's not for CDC. It's not for opposition. It's for the Liberian people. So we all, and I like what Dylan said today in a post. He said it right. And, sometimes I disagree with the senator, but today he said the right thing, and I like to flag it. He said that completion and equipment of the Emirates Hospital in Buffalo County is commendable. We must do our part to maintain and sustain. That's the right thing from an opposition senator. Every one of us should do our part to keep the hospital better. The hospital will serve Lofa, part of Bumming, part of Sierra Leone, Buffalo, and all the other surrounding counties. That's beautiful. And I think the president will go down in history. And that will be a proud moment for him. Say what you want to say, job well done. I hope he can continue on this track. I hope he can continue, man. We're probably going to discuss part of the census tomorrow. Report coming in from the census, recording I'm receiving, information, pictures. It's not looking good. I know the vice president wanted to talk about census, met the folks international partner. I asked her the question, will it be acceptable by international folks? She said yes, it will meet international standard. But what I saw today, to tell you the truth, I'm going to send it to her. The recording I got today, the pictures and video I received today, I want to share it with her. And I think Liberians should understand. We hope that the result of the census should be accurate, the census should be on point, and it should be truthful. Because what we're going to share with you tomorrow from guys that own the field are working from these counties. They took their own pictures. They're on the conference table working. They were recorded. What they are saying is troubling. I hope we can put this to rest. I hope the vice president can ask the right question to the right individual. People need to stop playing games. And we need to do that which is right for our country. Census is important. It will help with development and it will help with every other things. So we need to get this done right. We need to get this done to the point that there will be no return. Since 2008, imagine how many years. Imagine since 2008. And we are here today talking about census. And yet and still it's a problem. We want to encourage every one of you, join us tomorrow. Let's discuss the census issue. Whatsoever I have, I will share with the guys. And everybody will dive into it. This information are current. There was a meeting held on Christmas Eve. Some group of guys went to various counties to go over the numbers. You see the pictures, the recording. It's troubling. But I know before the president gave his approval on the census, in finalizing the result, he will ask questions. And I know the vice president is going to ask questions. I will share this information with her, and I hope she look into it before we come up with a false positive result. And we need to understand that. I want to say thank you guys. Again, Happy New Year to all of our folks. A beautiful program. We look forward to a brand new year, to a wonderful program. We've been doing this for a long time. It's tiring.
Next year,
it is tiring. But next year will be busy. And by the grace of God, I appreciate in the fact that these guys, they're moderating now. I will have my 2 days off. Like you saw today, we gave Kev Hassan the day off today. He needs the day off. He needs to have some mental rest station. He needs to decompress. Every one of us, we need to decompress. Seriously. It is important for us all. I was glad when Kev said, CEO, please, I would take off. I said, all right, Kev. I was so happy. So he off today, he will be off on Saturday. Again, here we are. It's for all of us to benefit our family. We make the time, we sacrifice to give you the information. We may not be 100%. If you disagree with us, come on the program. But stay on your corner and insult. It will not help Liberia. Let's come together, folks. Let's build a new Liberia. Let's all unite for the better future. Liberia deserves better. 2023 is a must. Together, we shall overcome and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. God bless.
Thank you, Santa. You're closing.
Well, good. Good show. It's good to be back. And we look forward to more of these engagements. It's going to be very interesting as we enter the new year. Election year, like I said, those of us who are political junkies, people will get upset, people will get mad. But listen, we all are entitled to our opinions and our analysis. And one thing I know for sure that that spreads across the screen is that each and every one of us want to see good for our country. We all don't think the same way. We all don't agree on everything the same way. But I think one thing that we all are in agreement of is that we want to see our country do well. And when there is positive things happening in the country, we commend it, we celebrate it. When things are not going the way it's supposed to go, we do our best to say what we have to say and leave the rest for the people to analyze. But in the end, it's that Peabody can always say on this show. In the end, vote has no presidency. Vote has no vice presidency. Vote has no minister. Everybody got one vote. Everybody got our one vote. They don't multiply George Weah vote by 2 because he's the president. They don't multiply Cummings vote by 3 because he's a political leader. So in the end, the decision is going to be left to the people to make a determination on where they want to see the country go, which trajectory, which way they want the country to continue, whether it's continuity, whether it's change, whether it's more of the same, whatever the terminology will be. But I'm looking forward to to it, and it's exciting, and we look forward to it. Tommy, you did an excellent job in moderating, and want to thank you for for your engagements, and Stanton also. Fagon, it was good to pick your brain again. It's always interesting when I listen to you, when I see that I'm reading through your lines and I can see exactly what you're trying to accomplish. But that's part of the process, as like I said, when you're a political junkie, people don't understand that once you're a political junkie, you love politics. It's not something that you live and you eat and you breathe it. So, but yeah, it was a great show. Thank you guys, and look forward to being here again tomorrow.
The body.
Great show, guys. Congratulations again to the president for the construction of the hospital. My wish would be that they will train out the right people to the hospital. There will be roads so that folks will have access to the hospital, and that hospital will be maintained as part of the long-term plan. But I want to congratulate. That's a great job. And hopefully the people in that area for many years that have been deprived of healthcare will not have access to affordable healthcare. So that's a great job. I'm just commending the president. But overall, it was a great show. I'm looking forward to hear what comes out of the NPP dialogue, and hopefully their demands will be met. And I'm looking forward to see that. But again, great show. Good to see everybody. I don't have a lot to say here tonight. Thank you.
Former Deputy Minister of Information for Public Affairs, Honorable Eugene Lamin Fagon.
Thank you, Tomale, and thank you to all of you guys for the brilliant and salient points made. I was able to bring to the attention of the international community today the scrapping of the 2017 electoral map with the results of the president and the general election, the presidential and general elections. And the reason why I did that is in keeping with Article 80. If people have their pens, they'll research it tomorrow. Article 80, D and E. D specifically in terms of keeping up with the population growth and the movement relative to the word census, as Stanton said, and E specifically where it says, quote, immediately following a national census and before the next election, the Election Commission shall reapportion the constituency in accordance with the new population figures so that every constituency shall have close to the same population as possible, provided yada, yada, yada. That is the Constitution. That is the law. And you know what? I told them about gerrymandering. Gerrymandering. Now, if the Constitution says that the Election Commission should reapportion, which is redistricting, then my dear brother, why did you wipe the complete data from your website? Well, the international community is aware. I got thank you today, and we're looking forward to that. But as I said, this election will be too tough for President Weah. And like Stanton always says, it's his to lose. Even though it's tough, but it's his to lose. Because you know what? In 2017, when you put Maryland, Grand Crew, Sino, Riverside, that's 4 counties. And yet in 2017, the UNO came up with 126,000. You do it for the Western, Bomi, Cape Mount, and Bapolu, you'll realize that those 3 counties produced 134,000. Compare the Southeast to Nimba. Now you see where these negotiations are coming from. And so I will conclude by saying, here is my fear. If I look at the Western cluster and I look at Lofa, when I think about Prince Moi and the NPP, then I know CDC is in trouble. What if nobody stays with the old man? Bassa, Margibi, and Riverses in 2017, double the 4 counties that I just named to you. Margibi, Riverses, and Bassa, which is considered the Bassa Belt, had 247,000 in 2017 compared to 126,000 from what? 4 counties. I want to say to folks tonight, if anyone sits in their living room and said these elections will just go like that, that is why Prince Johnson said Maryland, Grand Coup, Sano, and Riverses, that 3 districts in my county are eating already. So why should I be negotiating? Talk to me. So we need to look at the political map. We need to look at the electoral map, and we need to study well. Because when Monserrato comes in with her number, like she had in 2017, 590,000, I am confident, and the record will show that Monserrato County does not go easily to the ruling party. Then you know what I'm talking about. And so even if we close in Monserrato,
true,
the dependency on winning will come from the big counties, such as Nimba,
Bong,
Lofa, Margibi, Bassa, and so forth.
Yeah.
Stanton, you've done a beautiful job for the Liberian people by giving them this platform. If any political leader or political party takes you for granted and your network, it will be detrimental to their progress. Even though you started by bringing social ANC people on, then Tomalin and Dada Peabody and Dada Francine and all of them.
ANC, who you talking about?
I'm just kidding. All these guys are good guys. But I want to say this network will be very instrumental in shaping the destiny of our country and making a determination who the next president will be. I'm hopeful and look forward to an even exchange among all of the panelists. Thank you for having me. I respectfully submit.
Thank you. Just to end, when you talk about the census, because if the result the census comes up and it may affect the electoral district we have.
Yeah.
And right now we have 72 electoral district. I mean, we're talking about getting more representatives in office or so. So we hope that everyone's paying attention. Again, I want to thank the president and his administration for the dedication of the United Arab Emirates Hospital, or state-of-the-art hospital. I want to thank the UAE government for such gift to Liberia, and we pray and hope that it will be sustained and maintained and for the benefit of our people. We look forward to that day where Liberia used to be a referral hospital for the sub-region. We're praying one day our country will come back to that point. And like the president said today, even people in Sierra Leone all may benefit from that hospital. He mentioned it today in his speech. We look forward to that. And the CPP, we're happy that you guys came out released today on your internal investigation. We look forward to the outcome of the investigation. And also we want to say, like you said about the counties, if anyone of you advising the political parties right now, tell them to pay attention to Nima, to Bong, Margibi, Lofa, Bassa, and Kemal. That way, if you look for spending the resources. In America, you never see the Democrat Party spend money in Rhode Island easily. Republican will go spend money in certain counties where they know that they're not going to make any progress. But they should pay attention to these counties. And I know we have not reached the point where your VP, we're talking about getting a VP on your ticket, where you talk about the policy. Right now, Liberia still at the point where to balance your ticket, you need geographical balance. Whether So, I mean, I hear people saying that, oh no, you need a vote, you need a voter counted. No, you need that person to help that ticket. We're looking forward to these people, the candidates choosing the running mate soon. We know there are talks in the background with parties are still talking, but we pray that they will keep on talking. And at the end of the day, we want a competitive election in October of next year. And somebody asked me today, and I said I'll bring it to my guys, but for another day. Whether you think there will be any major reshuffle in this government going to election, whether it will be advised over the president doing a major reshuffle, or whether you think another question I asked whether any sanction on this government will affect the election. It will be a fair thing to do it. You think a sanction will affect the election? I told them, I said, well, any sanction will surely affect the election. So if I was someone who to give my 1 or 2 cents, I would say let the playing field be level. Who on? You have enough now. Who on? And let's see what happens in the next few days instead of bringing it. Lastly, on this, I would say safe travels to Dr. Richardson. She our sister. She's on her way to Africa, and also to our brother Costa. We can safe travels to the motherland. And on a side note, deaf news. I got to say this deaf news. The medical director of Redemption Hospital lost her father on Saturday. Yeah, the lady.
The lady you related to? Yeah. Is that a cousin, right? We said
Man,
Dr. Sweet William.
I was trying to send our sympathy to the lady, man.
Yes. So her father passed away on Saturday, and our condolences to her.
Our condolences. That's right.
Okay, guys. Good show. Thanks, guys.
Good job, Tumley. Excellent model.
Thank you, guys.
You guys have a good
Thank you very much. Ben, it's good to see you, man. I know when I see you again next year, yeah?
Next year is a few days away. So it could just be whatever. I see you, man.
I heard the same for Ben, though. Ben, go you.
Where? To Liberia?
Yeah.
Well, I am planning to go to Liberia. I'm planning to go to Liberia probably sometime next month. I was trying to time it around.
Same for you.
Who they?
You want to make an endorsement?
Who they?
You going to make an endorsement? An endorsement?
Tommy, you know I'm a huge political stakeholder. I don't do things. You know, I don't do things on the fly. Yeah, you know me.
Explain it. I like me.
You know me. I don't do things on the fly. I just I'm very strategic in all my activities.
All right, gentlemen. I see you, man.
Y'all be talking plenty. Start talking plenty. Because if I go there, I will tell you how they say for you too. Then you will do.
I'm going to get me. Right, the same flight. Go fly in the same flight. Go on Delta.
All right, gentlemen. Good night.
Okay, so that's it, folks. During another edition of the Spoon Talk. On tomorrow when the team will be here to take you through. Yekezi Zobe, I've been sitting here as your sound coordinator. Goodbye. James, goodbye.